Broadcasting live from sunny South Florida, this is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. Your KMA crew, the Italian Scallion, Paul DeGracco, Alex Tavella, a.k.a. The Goat, and always telling it like it is, Honest Abe.
I like to smoke them like the Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Good morning to all our loyal listeners, libertarians, and lovers of the leaf. Thank you for joining us this morning for this week's episode number 479 of KMA Talk Radio. I'm not even sure if that's correct. As always, I'm your host, Honest Abe, and I am joined by a board of directors that's second to none. Begin, we have the Italian Scallion himself, Paul DeGracco. Did you update the number? That sounds like the same number from last week.
No, I'm pretty sure it is. It is. I can't go back and check, but I always look at the last episode and just put it up one.
You're just terrible, dude.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
You think it's correct? That's
I'm gonna go check.
That's almost a bettable.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it if I was you either. And as always, the man we can actually count on, the man they call the GOAT, Alex Tavella, who's in a very happy mood this morning, along with his counterpart, the Scoop with William Cooper.
Hey guys, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Just want to clarify, Paul's right. He's okay.
It is 479.
I had to deal with an issue too this morning. So
what did he just mumble?
I had to deal with an issue.
He's not listening to us. He doesn't know what we're talking about. We weren't talking about your issue.
How did you sideswag into your issue? No one even asked you about your issue.
No, I wasn't going to talk about the issue.
Okay.
It's not an issue to talk about on the air.
If you were going to talk,
you brought it up.
Well, because that's why I was kind of late. I was even finishing up as the intro was going.
No one knew you were late, Coop.
How about that?
Nobody knew.
Coop is liquidating assets to bet the house on Philly. That's what he's doing.
That's what I said. I said he's on the phone with his broker right now, or his bookie.
Bookie broker.
I'm not liquidating anything yet in the Phillies, but
yeah, your broker basically is just your bookie, just your legal bookie.
Well, buy Facebook stock, guys. Good price this week.
I saw it. It's all down, right?
Hate Facebook. It's going to go back up. Trust me.
Man, you're like the second person that's been talking about that.
I'm telling every time people panic with the stock market, you know what I do? I buy.
Buy.
Yeah. Now, I wasn't on the phone with broker this time, but it was you buy. Because people eventually have to put their money somewhere. Is what I tell them. They right back in the stock market.
I don't think Facebook can get much worse. Apparently, I just saw an article yesterday. Zuckerberg's down $100 billion.
Yeah,
from the beginning of the year.
It's a really good price to buy now. Yeah.
What is their stock is Meta?
And this is
Meta,
a company with
or is
no
it actually
debt.
Facebook?
You know, and they have zero debt.
They have zero debt.
Yeah.
They're kind of like a commodity, a utility, or whatever you want to put it. I look at that type of company where they're gonna be fine. They just people panic though, and they want to put their money somewhere else, and that happened the other day.
They got a couple billion users, and the average time that people spend on Facebook
no one's bolting Facebook anytime soon. Yep.
Exactly. And Instagram, I think they got 1 billion users.
That's not their problem. I think their problem is they're dumping billions into this metaverse that just isn't catching.
Right. Yeah, they thought this was the new thing.
Yeah.
So Facebook's Meta. I mean, it's still $100 a share. $99. What was it though? Like 300?
Was I gotta look it back
dipper.
up.
It's a big dipper.
I don't know.
It wasn't. Didn't go down to like 2/3, but it went down significantly.
I don't know. It doesn't look. Is it Meta, Coop?
Meta,
is that their stock ticker?
Yep.
That doesn't look that bad right now.
Oh, went up
closed
yesterday,
at 97.94.
Yeah.
It dipped the other day. Yeah, I mean,
it was
whatever.
It was a panic sell.
I'm looking for stocks that used to be like $300 that are $2 now.
I mean, is the meta universe really going to take off with anybody who's like
It was 137 on Tuesday.
Antisocial.
Antisocial, yeah, that's the place for antisocial.
I said with anybody who's not a recluse
not-
or antisocial.
yeah.
I mean,
No, I
when
don't
you're a
think
recluse, you got no friends, you're antisocial, you don't know how to talk to people. Yeah, that shit works great for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, who would rather be there than in the real world? I mean,
Adam.
I just, you know,
yeah.
it could.
I mean, there's
Yeah, guys like Adam. I mean, it's one of those things. I don't know if it's just absolutely ridiculous, or it's like back when the CDs first came out, and I said I'm never going to give up my cassettes.
Well,
Yeah.
Abe, you have your kids are starting to enter teenage years, right? And you should just see how they connect with relationships these days. You know, they don't. Everything's done text, not even phone, text. Relationships come and go through text messages.
Huh?
I don't know. They FaceTime a lot. They talk to their friends.
Do they do the thing where they
They
FaceTime
do,
and they just
do
leave it
some of that.
there?
No, that's not allowed in my house.
What is that?
Oh God, they do a FaceTime and then they just like leave the phone there and they just
Like, why not put it on speaker? No, even like my wife will cook a meal. She'll cook a meal with her sister or somebody on the phone, and just sitting there propped up, and they just like go about their daily lives. I don't know. So you boys are happy. Thank God.
What's that?
I said you boys are happy today. Thank God. I really think you guys would be depressed today.
This team, you know, it's funny. You know what I love? These people on Facebook, like they put these posts up. The Astros have won the World Series when we're up 5-0.
Risty.
Like, if you look at that,
Risty.
Risty, how wrong is Risty about everything? That guy's never right about anything.
Wow.
Think about it. He's
That is
never
a
look at his
statement.
posts and how wrong he is, right? I didn't see did Risty post something about the Astros?
He did. He posted
I
at like
should ignore him as much as
9:30.
possible.
I guess the Astros are the World Series champs.
There you go. And look, you know,
What was the score at 9:30?
5-0.
Like
5-0.
Oh, you guys came back from a 5-0 deficit.
Yes,
We
we
came
did.
back.
Yes, we
And
did.
they went into extras, right?
They went
Yeah.
into extras.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and they just, you know, I was busting on Fake Allen about his Yankees, how bad they played against Houston, because they basically laid down and quit. And the Phillies just didn't do that. And I think if Alex and I are really into this team is just really capturing a lot of spirit. They're just doing something really special right now. It's going to be a tough road to win it, but, you know, that helped last night for sure.
That was big. That was big. One
That
at
was big.
home.
It was very big,
I
yeah.
just want to point out, piece of shit over here. With he's another one. Yeah, with a 9:30 dig
Listen,
in the
I don't
text
know.
message.
I don't know if everybody sees the squares in the same order that we do, but he's pointing to Paul just in case.
Yeah, no, they do.
Yeah, they do. They see it the same way. What you see is what they see.
So Paul sends us at 9:30 p.m. same time like Risty dig. You guys gonna be okay if the Phillies lose tonight?
Yeah.
And you know what? And listen, I took the Coop road because I've learned from Coop. Coop will not respond until the game's over.
I don't
text
say anything
Coop during the game, and I don't text him during the game anymore because I know it's a he's not gonna he doesn't want to say
The
a word.
phone's
He doesn't
off during the
say
game,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll get a response after the game. So I took the Coop road. I said, I'll just wait. I'm not gonna say anything. I just wait. And Paul's little dig turned out to go right back in his face.
It's every time. Yeah, I see people do. There were other people doing that last night. I see all these posts like, "Wow, you know, the Phillies are done." You know, it's like, and I had a little bit of. I was a little. I didn't have a lot of confidence, but I said, "Let me let the game play out." You know, that's what I just said. Let that game play out.
Yeah, listen, I thought it was going to be an ugly night. I did. You know,
Well, our best pitcher, one of our best pitchers, you know. But then we got the Verlander. It was, and who's terrible. He's always terrible in the World Series. Great up until the World Series, and then in the World Series he implodes, and we got to him.
I don't assume you're a Houston fan, Paul.
nobody.
No, I told Alex I'm actually rooting for the Phillies. I'm a Yankees fan, but
you were gonna commiserate had they lost. You were gonna enjoy the moment if they lost.
No, it doesn't affect my life one way or the other. But I would like to see the Phillies win.
Then what was the point of that text last night?
Right?
It was, you know, listen. My wife and I went out to a nice dinner on the island, and then on our way back, we decided to stop because the kids were asleep with my parents. They were babysitting. So I was like, why don't we just stop for a drink on our way back? So we did. I sat down and I knew the game was going on, but I wasn't paying attention to it. And then I looked up and it was 5-0. And I was like, oh, geez. So I was, just saying, hey, you guys going to be okay? I don't know, like guys do, like ribbon.
Yeah, you guys going to be okay. Is that what he said? That's not what he said.
Hold on. I'll read to you what I said. I'll read to you exactly what I said. I said, I sent a picture of the game and I said, if the Phillies lose tonight, are you guys still going to be able to discuss them or will you be too damaged? Asking
Total
for a
dig.
friend.
Total dig.
Total dig.
Total dig.
Asking for a friend. And then there's this picture of an
And then
empty bar.
my favorite line of the conversation, I'm crunk. I'm crunk.
I had two drinks. It was a typo. It was a typo.
I'm crunk.
Well, what were you doing going out on a World Series night?
What do you mean? It's not my team. What do I care? We were
It's the World Series.
Listen,
it's the
we
World
have
Series.
That Paul.
we have friends.
Cool. Stephanie doesn't
What?
watch baseball.
Yeah, Stephanie doesn't. Well, she likes it, but she won't.
Yeah. So that's they go
If
out
it-
when she says it's time to go out.
My wife was like,
No,
"Go out, have
that's-
fun." I tell her to go out and have fun if it was, That's
Don't
what I
even
tell her.
try to defend the Paul. He's
No. Our
He's back.
friends, we have friends that are in town,
Her friend.
and they
They have to be her
No,
friends
they're
because your
actually-
friends should be watching the World Series.
no, they're both they're older. It's a married couple. They're a little bit older, and they were not watching the game, and they, we don't see them as often as we'd like to, so we wanted to go. They live over there, and we, anyway, it doesn't matter. We went out to dinner. We had made plans a while back to have dinner.
I've
It
never
was nice. We went.
I've never seen anybody so uncomfortable just describing an evening in their lives. They're over
I'm
here.
not
They're over
uncomfortable.
there. They're old. Our friend. Yeah, whatever. You're so uncomfortable.
Because I don't want to divulge too much information about them. They're not.
Oh, because people are going to stalk Paul DeGrasso.
The question
No,
is,
not me. I could care less about me.
In the morning, we
Stop
love
it. I
Paul.
could care less about. It's not about me. It's about them. They're fairly high-profile people, in all honesty, so they don't like to.
Ah,
Stay
you're
under the
a
radar.
What, a
You're a real
senator?
aristocrat, Paul.
Yeah. the mansion you live in and the golf.
I would not
carts
go
and-
to. Coop should talk. Coop should talk. I have a blow-up hot tub in my
But
lanai.
Paul, you have two kids, right? I had
Yeah.
when we moved in this house, all four of my kids were living here, so you needed a little room.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not have 6,500 square feet?
Speaking of sports, I'm experienced, and I think the only person that could really help me in this was probably Cooper. I'm experiencing my first frustration as a sports dad.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Yeah, man. So when they had the thing, they were desperate. They were looking for coaches. People help coach. I'm like, I don't got time to coach, and whatnot. I'm not gonna coach kids. And plus, I probably destroy some other people's kids. So I just figured it'd be safer for me not to be involved at any level.
That's true. No truer statement has ever been made.
I managed the checkbook for the leagues is what I did. I did treasurer work instead. I had the same deal. Yeah.
Yeah, but now being that I'm going to every practice and every game, I'm a little frustrated because I realize our fucking coach sucks. Why would you offer to coach? So we've only had 2 practices, right? The first practice, we don't find out till literally the day before. This guy can't put out a schedule. He can't say nothing. He can't do nothing. It's constant questions. Are we always going to know by one day before? Is it always going to be 6? I mean, he doesn't even answer. And then we go, and it's a semi-okay practice. The guy's okay, whatever. And he says, and then I figured maybe the guy's trying to figure out a schedule. So then I say, hey, listen, what's going to be the routine? Because Asher's got violin. He's got other shit. We got shit to figure out. And we don't find anything out till the next practice, which was this past Tuesday. We show up, and guess what? The coach don't show up for practice.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
His wife is coaching.
Oh.
All right.
Is she better?
No. But all right, she wants to jump in, help out, whatever. I guess he coaches one of the things. But this was the first time where we had only half the gym because the other half was being coached by another team. And I'm watching these two other coaches, and man, they're coaching these kids like it's a real sport, right? I mean, I'm just thinking maybe at this level they're all just pathetic coaches, right? I'm watching these guys. He's teaching them how to play defense. He's correcting them. He's actually an educational process for the kids.
Were they the same
Right?
age?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They scrimmaged. Yeah.
I mean,
They had half the thing, and then two teams scrimmaged, same many kids, but they were acting like real coaches. The mom and her husband are acting like, hey, kids are over in the neighborhood playing in our driveway. Let's have fun. Which, it should be kind of, it should be a little bit of balance of both. I mean, I want you to teach my kid some shit. I'm teaching my kid more in our driveway than's going on this. So we're supposed to have practice today at 6. I'm going to see if I can find this retarded text.
Oh no.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Once
Hey,
again,
Hey, look at him.
Dave,
He's heated. He's heated.
I know, but you don't want to end up having to be the guy to take over.
Right.
You want to complain, you're going to be the one to take over. I'm just, that's the advice I'm going to give you on this one.
That's
listen to
very
me.
true.
I haven't said boo yet. I mean, I almost wanted to respond last night with a bullshit emoji. I didn't even do that. I didn't even do a comment. I was just going to do like a what the fuck emoji, but I didn't even get involved. God, do I get that many goddamn texts? Where did this go?
Oh man.
But he literally sends this. No, hold on. I'm too angry. I'm scrolling too fast. He sends this. Oh, here it is. So this is the day before practice, 8:09 p.m. Hello, team. Practices are going forward will be held on outside courts, not inside courts. Probably because he can't have a time available where they have the inside courts available. The new schedule will be coming up Monday. What fucking new schedule, bro? We're only second week in. I will keep you informed. There'll be no practice tomorrow. Enjoy. Have a great weekend. Then I got two retard parents with thanks, coach, with the high five symbol. Chime in. Thanks for what? The guy hasn't done nothing. He's barely coached one thing since we started.
Their kids are going to start. Their kids are going to start.
Now I'm saying to myself, well, fuck him. I'm going to go to every game and every practice. I might as well fucking coach next year.
Oh boy.
Careful what you wish for, bro.
No, don't do it, Abe. I know what you're saying. It's a lot more. You're gonna deal with so much. It's not going to the game is one thing, and you're gonna be dealing with now a whole team and a lot of minutia.
Does the coach have
and
a
the
kid on the
parents?
team?
Does the coach have what?
A kid on the team?
I don't believe his kid is on our team, but
you don't want to be the coach with the kid.
You don't want to be. Yep, I'm with Alex on this one.
You don't want to be the coach with a kid on the team.
Well, I could just not draft him.
What do you mean?
But then I'm defeating the purpose because I just want him to get quality coaching.
But
You don't want to be a coach. You don't want to be a coach where your own kid is on your team.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only reason why. That's kind of the only reason why I do it. Why do I want to coach a bunch of strange kids I don't know?
Because everything you're saying about the coach, everybody's going to say about you and your favoritism towards your kid, even if it's not true. And
I know because I've said it myself.
When do I give a shit what people say?
Yeah, but then it becomes then everybody becomes you on the other side of the coach, and it becomes.
Listen to me. This guy's not doing his job. He's not even coaching. That's what I got a problem with. I don't care about favoritism, who's putting in all that bullshit. This guy's not even doing his job. He's not even showing up to coach. Second practice, he's not there.
Yeah, that's
all right. So
that's a problem.
What's the money line on Abe getting into a fight at a game?
Oh, I'm gonna take.
He's becoming that dad.
I mean,
to me,
I can see this.
I'm not. I don't have a problem about the games and the playing, whatever. I got a problem with this guy's commitment to do something and pathetically performing and basically not doing what he's committed himself to do. That's my issue. It's not the kids playing and whatever. The first day he was coaching, they did it and it was all right. I didn't say anything that really bothered me. Even though I saw fucking two spectacular coaches the next, practice. I'm like, oh, so
I bet their kids are on the team.
Let me tell you something. And that coach kid has all stars. These kids are going to walk all over everybody all season. I mean, because obviously he probably took it seriously, really recruited. I think our coach just looked at kids and said, I'll take that one. I'll take that one. I'll take that one. I'll take that one, But I don't know.
This is basketball, right?
Basketball. This is my first. I couldn't really coach baseball. Baseball is like the only organized sport I never really played.
Yeah, basketball's tricky too because there's limited. Obviously, there's only 5 on the court, and they're smaller teams, so it's like it's tricky for playing time too.
Yep.
And if kids are trying to learn, I find it's hard. If there's experienced kids on the team, it's harder to get these other kids on. And my son dealt with that with basketball for a while.
I think you should do it, Abe.
I don't know. I'm just going to see how
I
this
wouldn't
season
do it. I know. I
It'll
know
be
it's,
great.
I know it's
It'll
hard.
be great fodder. It'll be great fodder.
I mean, this could be great
No, it's not
banter
gonna be
for the next
fodder.
few
It's gonna
weeks,
be
guys.
life
I mean, this
continuing.
is exciting. This
Well,
is
it
get
seems to
updates
be-
on this.
I'm starting to understand now, like this is like a culture, right? The parents all know each other. I don't fucking know anybody. I don't say
Of
2
course
words
it
to
is.
anybody. I don't say 2 words to anybody walking in, 2 words to anybody walking out. They all know each other. The kids all know each other. They know other people's kids. So, there's a slight advantage that they're kind of interconnected in this community or whatever. But, the other option is I just make sure my kid gets on a team with a coach next year. And I try to make it happen. I don't know. I mean, it's
That's
make it work.
The one thing I noticed too about sports with my boys is the baseball parents were great. Okay, they were very supportive, of the kids, and got a good. I mean, we didn't have a problem with a manager or coach then. The soccer parents were a completely different mentality. They were vicious. They were like calling for kids to be bent. I don't know if you ever watched the Sopranos episode, like with Janice.
Yeah.
That's how they were. The soccer parents, nuts. All my kids got turned off from soccer because of that. They didn't like that atmosphere. But baseball, everyone was supporting each other. It was and everyone was trying to teach people how to play the game. But soccer was just very different.
The worst
I played baseball.
The worst from what I hear, and in the parent category, are cheer moms.
No,
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Cheer moms I hear are like the worst.
My daughter didn't have to deal with that, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is like my new experience in this shit now, and I'm getting very frustrated.
You got a long road ahead of you, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah.
Very, very sad. So
I'll learn from your mistakes. Listen, my dad coached me in baseball.
We had good coaches for my kids' teams. That I could never complain about. So I didn't have that problem. Like when the coaches were committed, they were trying to teach and all that. So I was lucky, I guess. But I've heard of other people tell stuff like this. So this is not a surprise.
But I mean, what I'm talking about is just the basic principle of the job. This guy's 2 weeks in. He's had like one practice he showed up for. He can't even put a schedule together. He can't coordinate his shit. I mean, that's all. Let the kids have fun. Try to educate them. Try and teach them. Fine. I mean, it's 8 years old. But this guy's not even doing his job. I mean, he's not even doing what he's committed to.
Usually they get 2, right? They get a coach and an assistant coach. And the idea.
Well, I don't know. Our guy has one. But the other team I saw today was 2 guys coaching the kids. So I don't know.
Most of the time it's 2. Most of the time it's 2 for that reason. If someone gets called away on business, for their day job or something, the other person fills in. Now, at least, I don't know what the deal is. Is the wife the assistant? I don't know. I'm not saying the wife.
I didn't see her the first practice.
Yeah. I mean, normally they try at least to both be there if they can.
Coach Bo. Anyways. We'll see how this shit pans out.
Yeah.
I was gonna either Abe's gonna be the coach or Asher's going to.
Abe's gonna be the coach. Will be banter for the next year. I mean, it will be.
Listen,
the stories will have.
I will go to games.
Oh man, I'll fly down there for the game. What do you mean? I would pay to see that. And then when the parents come up to Abe, can you imagine a parent coming up and complaining to Abe? That would be like classic.
So that's what right. He's got to be like political with them, and like that's
the thing. You don't want to do this because you're going to be dealing with the parents,
right?
And everyone's parents thinks their kid is special, and they should be starting.
Do you see that coach for Little League? I don't know if it's just a parody or that guy's a real coach, but he showed it to me. Let me see if I can send it to Paul. It's fucking hilarious the way he talks to your kids. Your dad told you you're great. He lied. You suck. He's all over Facebook. There are 2 people in the world: winners and losers. Okay, if your parents told you anything else, they are in the loser category. I mean, it's fucking.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a parody, but they have like hundreds. This guy's got like hundreds of videos coaching Little League, talking to the kids like this. It's great. That's the kind of coach I would be.
Oh, you see the comments come in on this?
Oh yeah.
There's some people willing to come in.
I'm just staring at Alan Rubin's comment, who has the audacity the day after the Sixers win by 22 and Maxey drops 44. He wants to make.
And Doc Rivers can't coach, by the way, and he had no Embiid last night. Yeah, but Doc Rivers can't coach.
So
them Yankees.
let me see if I can find what this.
Those Yankees. He should go manage the Yankees.
Yeah, he should. I'm sure he thinks he can.
Wes, that's what the problem would be. I think that Abe would get very frustrated quickly with the parents.
It would be must-see reality TV if Abe took over that team.
Here,
the kids he'd be great with.
He'd be great with the kids. The parents is what I want to say.
I posted the link in the chat. I don't know if I could send a link to Paul to upload to play it here, but it's hilarious. Watch it if you have a minute later in the day.
Upload it.
Huh?
I can't upload it, but
basically,
we're in the chat.
The guy's name is Scott Bergen, and I just love the quote that the thing is under. I can't see it on my phone. Your dad's a loser. That's what the video. That's what the video title is. Your dad's a loser. Scott Bergen shorts.
Oh man.
Alan
Rubin's getting.
Hey, Alan, and the Phillies were 22 and 29 at one point.
Yeah. If you're a Yankee fan, you should just go and hide right now.
Halloween, fall. I mean, Alex, what do you? Does Alex even know what his kids are dressing up as for Halloween?
Yes,
that's a great question.
Actually, I do, but it's funny. It's such a weird. My son is so strange. Carmine is so strange.
Father.
I had to convince him. He didn't want a new costume. He wanted to wear last year's costume. So I at least had to convince him to buy. It was like one of those black one-piece skeleton suits. It wasn't even anything like crazy. Didn't want a new costume. So I at least convinced him to buy a new mask top for his costume. So yeah, I mean, listen, I got off easy. I'll say that for Halloween, but still, it's so strange to me. He was like, "No, I don't want a new costume. I want to wear that one again." I'm like, okay.
You never did that? You never wore the same costume? I was probably a hobo three years in a row.
You never were supposed to, yeah.
I mean,
I don't think I ever had the same costume lying around by next October.
Yeah, I don't know that it was like even an option in my head. You know?
So when we were, I don't know if you guys, because I'm older than you guys, right? Maybe Abe remembers this, right? But the way you used to buy your costumes, you go into like the pharmacy and you get this like box, right? And it would have a mask and this like plastic thing you go over.
Yes.
And it was like
they were like in shoe boxes.
They were in shoe boxes, yeah.
With the clear window on the top that would show the mask.
Yep.
With the chintzy band. That would always break in the first 10 minutes of you putting it on, and then you're stapling other rubber bands to the side of the mask.
That was it. Yep.
And then it had thin layer of sheer plastic clothing that I would never be able to fit into.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, and you get those with disposable Halloween costumes essentially. So you get a different one, and they were the popular thing. You'd be Dracula, or you'd be a devil, or something like that, and go every year you'd do something different. And then I think they went away because someone said the masks were I don't know, there was something with the masks. I think with a problem where there was an issue, so they stopped making them.
Poisonous plastic. We had ones like that when I was really little. We had ones like that. Yeah. They were chintzy.
You didn't have like homemade costumes, but they were all the prefab costumes is what you got. And they weren't expensive, those costumes. They were like
now you got me curious. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of that on the internet. Well, there it fucking
Chrissy
is.
Critchfield posted a meme about it the other day. Like, why did we all look like serial killers and had the old school costumes? And she was right. I was like, oh God.
Here it is. Wow.
So, Paul, do you have I'm sure you have a Halloween lineup.
Yeah, well, my son's, I don't know if I even want to, we have a lot of costumes in this house because the boys, like on rainy days, there's a drawer in their playroom. That has, like,
it's okay to tell everybody every Sunday night is cosplay at the Crocker House.
No, it's not. It's not.
You don't have to hide it. Every Sunday night, right before Game of Thrones came on, they would have cosplay at the Crocker House.
So they dress up a lot. So like they're about to go to they're about to go to one now. I'm uploading this. They're about to go to one now, trunk or treat. That's the other thing. Like there was one day of trick or treating when we were there, when we were kids. Now there's like my kids have trick or treated like 6 times already, and it's not even Halloween yet.
The trunk or treat was something
I don't
we went to with
understand
my
the whole
kids. Yeah.
Trunk or treat concept.
That's exactly it. I remember those very well.
Hold
That
on,
was it. Yeah, superheroes. That's right. I had a Batman one. I remember.
Hold on, I got a better picture. Hang on, I got a better picture.
That's what those were. Yeah.
Hold on, this shows how the clothing was. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you got that? I mean,
Who's calling me? Get the fuck out of here.
Are there any Disney?
what do you
costumes in my
think,
house?
Sean?
There's a lot. Yeah. So
No
this
one-
year we're dressing as the Nightmare Before Christmas. So Axel's Oogie Boogie, Eli is Jack the Pumpkin King. I'm the mayor of Halloween, and my wife is Sally.
So you
But
dress
it's so
up?
hot here.
So wait, you
Yeah.
dress up for Halloween?
You didn't dress
Yeah,
up
but-
when you took your kids out trick or treating?
I didn't take my kids out trick or treating. My wife did.
What did
I'd
you
stay
do?
back at
Sit
the
at
house.
home?
I stay back at the house and give candy out.
Wow. I don't know. I'm an active parent.
I mean, it was
Yeah, I'm an
great to
active
see, you
Get
know,
out here,
the kids
active parent. What
come,
does that
the
mean?
moms come. Yeah, I mean, it was like,
parent. The moms come. There you go. That's what. Yeah, that's. I remember
that. Was
those.
it.
Yeah.
I never had the G.I. Joe one.
I
That's
had
exactly
a
what this
Mickey
was.
Mouse one like that, but it was probably my brother's, that we reused, and it was a piece of crap.
Okay, but Paul, I want to go explore this a little more. Wait, you guys do a
Boy.
theme costume with the family every year?
Not every. Well, maybe.
Okay.
Like, since we've had kids, yeah.
I'm actually, yeah, it's interesting because all my kids would always want to be something so different that they couldn't settle on a theme.
Well, my kids are not making decisions yet. They're 4 and 2, so they. I mean, we ask them, but we make the decision. That's basically how it goes. But yeah, I'll go out with them. It's funny because this year we're in this new neighborhood and there's a lot of kids here, and like Halloween's a big, like tonight is the neighborhood trunk or treat on the event lawn here, and there's like going to be like smoke machines and walk through haunted houses and like all food trucks and
I don't understand.
they
the whole
do
trunk or
Halloween
treat
big here.
thing. I mean, what is the? I don't know.
The first time I had experience with it was with my 2 little girls when they were in like first grade, kindergarten grade. Instead of doing a big thing, parents all come to the parking lot. They park. They open their trunks. I made a cool little, in the back of my hatchback, I made a cool little Halloween scene. I put a little pot of water with some dry ice, and a cordon was coming out and spider webs. And you just give out candies, and the kids just walk from car to car in the parking lot.
Yeah, as opposed to going from house to house.
Well, in like big neighborhoods, like like more rural neighborhoods, apparently they started doing it so that the kids didn't have to walk, a half a mile to each house or something. But and then it was big during COVID, I guess. But I don't know. It seems weird, but everybody brings all their golf carts here and they decorate them for tonight. And they'll all be in a big circle, and you just walk around and get candy from everybody. But
what's
it
interesting,
seems
Paul,
moot
is-
because we're going to go out Monday too.
Yeah. I mean, usually we would do that the trunk or treat was another night before Halloween.
Yeah.
And then Halloween was a separate deal entirely. Like that was the 31st.
Listen, this weekend it's like Christmas. It's a Halloween weekend. They're going to a trunk or treat now with friends of ours at Palms West. Then they're going to do the event here tonight. Then tomorrow we're going to that Spookyville thing. Then Monday we have trick or treating.
How much candy did they
Well,
need?
we give it out.
Why must your children participate in every physical possible Halloween activity in a 20-mile radius? Do you know how absurd you people are?
So
That is not a question
That is
for
just
me.
an absurd way. That is just an absurd way to live.
So I have a question. I don't know.
He's like, because you want to know why? I'm going to tell you why.
Out.
No, sorry to cut you out, but I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you how Paul DeGracco lives his life, right? Because as parents, we do this as obligations for our kids, right? All right, they got to do Halloween. We'll take them to Pumpkin Patch, and then we'll walk around the neighborhood Halloween night, whatever. We don't want to miss out on shit. With Paul, it's really for him. He wants to go to Disney. He's not taking his kids to Disney every weekend. He wants to go to Disney. Paul wants to get dressed up 5-8 times during Halloween. So
I can assure you I do not.
It comes down to
no. Just say no.
I don't like getting dressed. I don't like getting dressed up.
Like I
really
told you
don't.
at weddings, you just say no.
There's
So
no universe where I'm hauling my kids to 8 different Halloween functions.
yeah, no.
At any age.
Well, I'm not taking them. I'm not taking them to every one. I'll take them on the golf cart tonight to that one.
Whatever, dude.
But I'm not going today. They're doing it now.
So
Whatever.
did any of you guys used to go out and cause havoc on Mischief Night?
100%.
Before Halloween?
Yeah.
In high
See, that
in high
was
school,
Mischief
in
Night
high
was
school,
We
bad
did
in
it
New
on
York.
Halloween. We did it on Halloween though, not the night
Both.
before.
They was
We did
Mischief
it
Night
on
and Halloween. Yeah.
Mischief Night was the
Eggs,
yeah.
egg, shaving
night.
cream.
Eggs, tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen here. It's weird.
I don't think it happens anymore at all.
It
Right.
actually in New
Oh, yeah.
York it could get pretty violent. I mean, actually,
Yes.
windows broken. It was actually Mischief Night was not a good night for a long time.
Listen, you
I
want to
would
hear
love to.
something disgusting? I had people who shall remain nameless that used to fill up bags with like maple syrup, like Ziploc bags, and they drive around in a van and open the sliding door on Halloween and just throw the bags of maple syrup on people and let them explode on them. They would take gallons, they would save their pee, and they would take gallons of pee buckets and they'd pour them on people's fences and on their front stoops. It was terrible in New York. People did bad stuff.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, I know my dad was a fanatic about cars. He'd get those cars off the street. He'd get them into garages. He'd pull them behind the house. Whatever he needed to do. Because he got egged. A car gets egged once. It was damaging to the paint forever.
Oh, yeah.
Alex,
Yeah.
It's like acid. Yeah.
I remember. No, go ahead first.
I think we owe it to this generation. I think you and I should just go to Paul's house and TP and egg it. I really do. I think we need to get this new generation right. Maybe we'll take Asher and Carmine.
Rocket Mickey Mouse with some eggs.
I mean, are we going to be able to get past the red guards at the gate who guard the commune?
It's Chip and Dale, isn't it?
God, I hope not.
Yeah,
Yeah, they'll probably be.
I remember one Mischief Night when we were kids. Me and it's so crazy the shit you do and the shit you got away with back in the day. But me and my friends, we went and, in Philadelphia, you would have the door and then like a screen door or plastic door right in front of the door. And we went and we threw an M80 in between the doors of one of our friends' house and literally blew the glass door out and the front door like wide open. I mean, we probably
Oh my God.
jail today for that kind
Yeah.
of we caused damage to the fucking house. And then we were kids, we didn't think about it, but like, yeah, I mean, I guess Mischief Night's pretty awful in retrospect. We blew our door off the hinges.
In fact, when we
front
were
door.
in New York, like when I was on Staten Island especially, we didn't go trick-or-treating at night. You went in the afternoon. They didn't want parents. They didn't want you out at night on Halloween because that was like an extension of Mischief Night, even on the 31st. So
when we were young, we had to get back like when it got dark, right after dark.
Right. Now it's different. Now everyone goes out when it's dark around here.
Yeah, well.
You're muted, Paul.
Anyways, that's about enough on trick or treat.
Anyway,
Enough on Halloween.
I can't wait.
Oh no shit, Paul.
No shit.
We know.
I can't wait.
I love candy. I've been eating candy since that Disney thing. I've been pounding Snickers and Twix, and it's been great.
You're such a
I've
grown
gained
man,
about
child.
8 pounds.
You really are.
What's the rule about how much of your kid's candy you can eat? Like,
Oh, my
As long as
wife
you don't
lets
know,
him
it's
have a
okay.
little bit, and after a day or two, it all disappears.
yeah.
It's rationed. My wife
It's all
rationed it.
gone.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
Have you ever watched? I don't know if they still do. You ever used to see the Jimmy Kimmel clips where
Yes.
parents would send in
All the-
videos telling their
Yep.
kids the next day, "I ate all your candy," and the kids
Oh,
would
Scream,
freak out.
crying.
Right.
That's bad parenting.
They just know. But then, as they get older, they get smart. They start pilfering the bag before they come home, so they have a hidden stash before you can, start rationing candy.
You don't let your kids go out alone, though, do you, Abe? I guess they're like Petra's not going to go
In the last
trick-or-treating,
year or
right?
two, we have. Petra's bigger than you. Petra's more intimidating than you are.
But I'm saying, does she even go now? Like,
Petra?
is she past that? Yeah.
My daughter went into
No,
her
no,
like
they're still
16,
very
17.
into it.
Yeah.
They're still very into it, but now the problem is it's Halloween parties. I had to take her to a Halloween
Right.
party out in the middle. Listen, I had to drive her out to a Halloween party like a week or two ago. Out in the middle. When I say in the middle, like I'm talking about, like I lived in Jupiter 16 years. And this was like in the heart of Jupiter Farms that I've never been that deep inside it. And I'm literally dropping them off, and I'm seeing them. There's no better setting for like a horror movie than where I'm dropping you off right now. It was her and her little girlfriend. And I'm like literally, this is where every horror movie ever has been filmed. You are literally out in the middle of nowhere in this big house. You can't even see where the next house is. There are no lights. It pitches black. The road's like 8 feet wide, and we're dropping you off. Have fun. So,
Wow.
So yeah, now it's Halloween parties, but like, unlike Paul, we have limitations because now my oldest daughter has a social life. So she thinks now that we're just hired chauffeurs to take her to here, to there, and there. And this is like Florida. It's not like where we grew up. When we grew up, you lived around 5 or 8 of your friends, right? Everything was
Now it's
walking
far.
the neighborhood. Or like if she wants to hang out with a friend, I gotta drive to Palm Beach Gardens. I gotta drive to Jupiter. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? So she's limited to there's 4 weekends in a month. She's limited to no more than 2 a month, where either one of her friends can come over or we can go. So she squeezed out her Halloween stuff. So for Halloween, she'll be in the neighborhood with our kids.
They don't have any friends in your neighborhood? Well, because they go to school. They go to a school that a bunch of people from all over the place go to.
All over
I
the
guess
county.
why.
That's the other problem, right?
Yeah.
But no, she does. But that's not her friends' friends. Like they have a couple really good. Petra's got 2 really good friends in the area, but that's it. And now those girls are at the age where they're getting out of the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do what their friends are doing and whatnot. So, yeah. So our kids will just. Alex and I think last year before during COVID, we just put 2 lawn chairs out, smoked a cigar.
Right, like Coop said, we handed out candy. They went
hand
out
out candies. Yeah, that's what that's what I did.
Yeah. And we'll do that. And our kids will run around the neighborhood. Our neighborhood seems to have some pretty cool stuff. Some of the parents make haunted houses in their yards, and there's a lot of stuff in our neighborhood.
We got all these.
Yeah, I was there.
inflatable
There
things.
were a
We
lot
got
of
all these inflatable things in the neighborhood this year. I'm not doing that. I'll put
Dude,
cobwebs up my house.
Somebody's got a solid like 12-foot werewolf. It's not even an inflatable. It's like a
No,
solid.
that's what they all have here. Yeah, Home Depot had those things.
Is
this
that where
year.
they all got it from?
You-
It's like everywhere.
Yeah. There's a bunch of them here too. Where the hell do you store that thing? I guess it comes apart.
I'm
Probably.
not sure, but
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
it's in your
They're
garage
massive.
11 months out of the year.
Well, let me drop a bomb before we go to break because we'll probably forget. But
Somebody asked.
do we answer them?
No. But yeah, Seth
Yeah,
asked.
Great
actually.
Smoke tickets will go on sale next week. So we are opening ticket sales next week for the Great Smoke. I believe that the date is November 4th. Is that what we said? I think it's November 4th.
November
The tickets
4th,
go on
Friday,
sale November 4th. If you are a member of the Smoking Social Facebook group, it's a private group, great group. You should join it. You may have a link a day early to be able to get your tickets as part of being our socialite group. So if you're a member, look for the link on the 3rd. We're going to put it up.
Yes, Tim, virtual too.
Good time to join. Yes, it will be once again virtual and live. As always, the face of virtual TGS, Michael Herklotz, will be joining us, along with the lovely Kim Keeney and Paul.
Paul was a
We
hit
had
last
good-
year. Gotta give Paul credit. He did.
Paul
well.
did a great job last year. Yeah.
I was
Gotta give-
surrounded by
Gotta
such
give the man
talent.
credit sometimes.
Yeah, and again, both Paul and Kim did a great
Thank
job
you.
keeping that moving. Yeah.
I have to commend them because they actually felt like real floor correspondents. They actually did a really, really good job.
That's a
So-
hard
Well, but
job
the other
to
thing
do.
is with that team, Michael, Kim, and I were so like go with the flow based, and we could cover for each other. That they'd be talking our ear. Michael wants you to do this. Michael wants you to, and then Michael could just throw it to me, and I wasn't even not even being ready,
Yeah.
and we would be able to fill time. It was good,
Yeah,
but
it was
it
really
was a
good.
fun thing. That's the kind of stuff I live for.
You have to be when you're live and there's no rehearsal or barely anything. I mean, you
Right.
guys get a 68-point outline, and that's about it. The rest of it's
Right.
on the go. So people have been asking me for weeks. So you heard it here first on KMA Talk Radio. Great Smoke 2023 Mardi Gras Madness tickets go on sale Friday, November 4th, with a special early
Party.
availability for our Smoking Socialites. If you're a member of our Smoking Facebook group.
I gotta tell you, just think of it. I kind of enjoy my station at the Great Smoke. I mean, I got a lot going on, but it's cool sitting at Mission Control.
Fuck
It's
yeah, it
cool. I mean, it's doing my part. Everybody, bing, bang. Those guys are. I mean, it's really great watching.
I
the
would
team
like
work.
to do. I mean, basically, I do Monty's job on paper, but I
Prior
would like
to,
to do
yeah.
Monty's job in real life.
That's a tough job.
It's a tough job.
That's
yeah.
tough.
It is, but I would love it.
Yeah,
Coordinating.
absolutely, but it
You're
is.
coordinating. You're coordinating what the finished product is. Everybody's seeing.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Monty's doing his job, following the vision I've laid out for him on paper, but he's really in the trenches. Cut the camera 3, bring it up. I mean, I think I would enjoy that.
It's funny. I remember because we weren't sure if Monty was going to make it. And you were like, I don't know. Maybe you'd be able to do this. And as we got to know it, you were like, yeah, fuck no. There's absolutely no way you're doing that. No, man. It is so like that's something you're like you said, you're coordinating finished product on, live, boom, boom,
Live.
there. It's like,
And he's
air traffic
good.
control.
He's great.
He's good.
We were contemplating that last year because the expense for what Monty does is not a cheap thing. It's a very expensive thing, and it was all right to offset during COVID because we had no rental. We didn't have the major expense of renting the fairgrounds and all the equipment and all the furniture and the staffing. So it was a good offset. So now we didn't really think about it when we said do both. Now we're going to do both because that's what people asked us to do, and the virtual part is only for the people who didn't come. So now I'm boarding this expense for an allocation of only 500 tickets. So when I'm sitting down looking at the numbers as we're already knee deep in this, like, wow, man, this really doesn't pay to do it virtual. We're eating this huge production cost and we're only selling 500 tickets for it. It was different when we were selling 2,000 tickets for it, but it's only 500. So we started contemplating it because we couldn't get their price down to where the show would actually look like a decent production. Because once you start slashing everything, I said, you might as well go out there with your iPhone and record it. That's what they're telling us.
Right.
Yeah.
So I started talking to Alex. I mean, listen, what do you think? We could set up, you could do it, and da-da-da. And Alex at first like, yeah, I think I can, And then we started digging deep and we're setting the structure and I'm feeling it. And it's funny because when I told Alex, bro, I don't know. I think I got to work out mine. I don't think you can do this. He goes, yeah, I can't do this, bro. I'm looking at it. It's really a lot. It really is. So reason came to us. The upside was that the tickets sold out so fast. We moved another 250 over, which still kind of didn't, it just showed us that there were a lot of people who wanted to experience this virtually. So this year we upped it to a number where it actually makes sense, at least on a production level, where we're not going to lose any money on the virtual side of it. So, and I think they'll sell out. And if it sells out, virtual sells out again this year like it did last year, because that's the beauty of the virtual side is, it's not like the live event, right? My costs of running the live event when it was 300 compared to 3,000 is exponentially huge, right? On the virtual side, our hard costs stay the same. I don't need more cameras. I don't need more things. I don't need more anything. So whether we're broadcasting to 500 virtual attendees or 3,000 virtual attendees, there's really not much more in cost. So as long as it continues to prove it, and that's the way we always look at things long term, right? So we lost money on the virtual side last year. This year we hope to break even, and next year it might be profitable. And that's how we did the first Great Smoke. I think we broke even in year 3 or close to it, and we were happy. So I think the virtual component will continue and forever be a part of TGS. My only fear, I got a good B person up on deck. I mean, my only fear is Michael Herklots is really the virtual face of the Great Smoke. So, hopefully as long as he's still available, but I think I have a very plausible B person should something ever happen, or he gets too busy to handle the Great Smoke. He almost couldn't. Was it last year he almost couldn't do, or the year before? Well, 2 years ago he almost couldn't make the flight, but he couldn't make the flight. That was weather. Right. He was committed to this year no matter what. He had told Pro Cigar, I'm not coming. And they just wanted him so bad they did a whole flight thing for him to
they flew him back and forth, right?
Yeah. Come down
quick shout out to Fred Rui, who is ready in case of an emergency to drive down the day of the Great Smoke and fill in for Michael had he not made his flight.
Yeah. Literally, as soon as we saw there was a problem, I called Fred. I said, you come to Great Smoke? He said, well, I was planning on watching it. I told him the story. He goes, yeah, just let me know. I'll come down. I could be there in a couple hours. So, It's
Thank
not like
God.
you got a lot of options of somebody who could sit in that role.
That's
Right.
a
You know,
tough
it's
role.
not an
That's
easy
a-
role.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
kudos to Mike. What else we got? I mean, do we want to talk about the Tom Brady thing?
Well, I think it's time for our segment.
Oh, is it that time? Is it
Yeah, we have.
Okay,
Yeah.
there it is. He does have it right. Name that jam. So we're
I know
going
I
to do. I'm going to give Paul about 10 more seconds to prep himself before we.
I'm ready.
No,
I'm ready to go.
get out of here.
Okay.
I'll play it right friggin' now.
I forgot about the new format. We're going to do our episode this week's episode of Name That Jam, sponsored by Avo Cigars.
You're a real fucking asshole. You know that, Paul?
I didn't move the other one down.
Alex,
I'll do
Alex,
I'll-
can you please make a video bite of this bullshit?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I can play it right now. Plays the wrong fucking video.
Here it is.
Do you ever feel disappointed in yourself? Is that
Nah,
no, really, because there are
I'm a
people
happy-go-lucky
like,
guy.
Come on, yeah. See, there are people like this, and I totally think Paul's one of them. Like, if I bomb at something or I fail at something, I'm disappointed. I get hard on myself. I need to do better. But I bet you, Paul, you've never experienced being disappointed in yourself.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Oh, I'd like to know when. I'd like to hear the story when you felt disappointed.
I was a performer. I definitely had bad nights on stage, really bad nights. I mean, yeah, you always want to do better. Listen, man, this is improv. This is live. You make mistakes. People make mistakes. You know what?
Hey, look, at least he didn't play the reveal. Yeah, I'll give him that much.
I was gonna just
Like
say
he
that.
did.
I was just gonna say that. Listen, Alex knows, and Alex is great at it too. But Alex knows the first time that he ever had to fill in for me to run everything. It's insane, especially if you're very active in the conversation. It's really tough to stay on top of
years,
things.
2.5 years.
It doesn't change. It doesn't change how.
But I don't understand.
understand.
You're the way you line things up and the way I line things up is different. So that's
I don't
always-
line them up at all. I'm
Right, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like because I know it's tough, so I'll line it up. I know we're gonna do Name That Jam, the intro, the reveal. Would you
I
rather?
actually
Alex,
usually move it down.
What person wouldn't do it that way?
Paul.
Really, Paul. That's it.
Yeah.
Just Paul. That's gonna be the hot mess, Paul DeGracco. That's gonna be your new. The hot mess.
Another of his long list of names. He's gonna catch up with your list.
Getting
wanna-
to name
you
that
wanna
Oh,
hear
he's
the
on
clip?
my list.
Getting to name
do the
that
clip.
jam. We're gonna wait a minute. We're gonna play a couple seconds of the clip, and we're gonna see if Abe, Coop, and Paul can name that jam. Now, I'm gonna preface this. I may have went a little too far this week. It may be a little bit obscure, but this is a song from an iconic movie scene. So I don't know if anybody's gonna get this or not.
All right, here we go. I have no freaking clue.
No.
Oh,
No.
this is tough.
I want to see. I want to see if one person in the comments even can get it.
I'll play it again. I'll play
All
it
right,
I feel
again.
like I've heard it before though, but yeah, I'm.
I got a feeling I won't know the song after the reveal.
You might not. You might not. But you'll know the scene.
Does anybody have a guess out there?
80s film, I
80s
think.
film.
Way to cut it down to a
80s
decade,
film.
Dan.
Greg Kelly, my man. All right. See, I'm not totally crazy.
Well, I mean,
Wall Street, yeah, dude.
depends.
I'm not knowing the
You
soundtrack.
could
of
cheat.
Wall
You could
Street.
cheat. I don't know.
Do you want me to play the reveal?
Yeah, go ahead. I got one on my side.
All right.
Yeah, that was way
That was
out.
a tough one, but
I
I should have known
And
that
I'm
one.
a
Yeah.
talking, I'm a talking
would've
Heads fan. It's funny. I just exposed my daughter Petra to Talking Heads a couple weeks ago.
So that is the song that's playing when Bud Fox starts moving into his new condo when he finally hits big, and it's the ending credit roll. I knew I might be a little tough on that one. Yeah, that was when. Yeah, boom, exactly.
Good job.
Wow.
I mean, let me tell you something. Had even I heard a little bit of the voice, if I heard a little bit of the voice, I would have known right away it was Talking Heads. I
may have guessed Talking Heads.
I would have heard. I'm a
cadence
Talking
was
Heads fan. I
Talking
would have known
Heads,
right away. But I probably wouldn't be able to pin that song.
That was a good one.
I know it was going to be a tough one. I know
that was a tough one. That was a tough one.
Well, we have failed.
I would have used
it. None of us have named that jam. So coming up in hour 2, we're going to talk about Zodiac cigars and the trend. What's going on? Is it going to continue? Some of the Zodiac cigars that are out right now. It seems to be a growing segment of our cigar industry. We're going to talk about a new lighter from DuPont. ST DuPont with a $70 lighter. Is it really so? And of course, we will have our what's it called? Would you rather in hour 2? And do we have a teaser for?
We don't have a teaser, but we're going to bring it up. We're going to announce it. We're going to discuss it.
Season 6 now of the tape. We have season 6 in store for you. Hopefully, it'll start next week. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Keep it lit.
Phenomenal. 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 Phenomenal.
Explore the unexplored with St. Louis Rey Carenas. Set sail to discover an extraordinary Honduran cigar deeply anchored in tradition. The St. Louis Rey Carenas features a Nicaraguan wrapper cloaked over 100% Honduran tobacco that make up the binder and filler. The St. Louis Rey Carenas, in the Toro size, received a 93 rating in Cigar Aficionado and was featured in their illustrious Top 25 Cigars of 2021 list. The St. Louis Rey Carenas is available in 4 different sizes: a Robusto, Toro, Bellicoso, and Magnum. So get ready to take a trip back in time to experience the heritage of St. Louis Rey with the St. Louis Rey Carenas.
Surgeon General warning: cigar smoking can cause cancers of the mouth and throat, even if you do not inhale.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Welcome back to hour 2 of KMA Talk Radio, everybody. Episode 479. We are broadcasting from sunny South Florida. And as always, I am here with the gang: William the Scoop Cooper, Alex the Goat, and Hot Mess Paul DeGracco.
I like it.
I had to put that into effect.
It fits.
We'll just call him HM. He could tell his friends it means His Majesty, but we all know it means Hot Mess.
His Majesty. I would be great royalty. I'd be so nice to the underlings.
You'd make a great jester.
I bet that's a good gig. I mean, unless you don't make them laugh and you get killed.
Just to stay on something cigar related, what are you guys smoking? We know Paul's not smoking nothing.
I'm
other
in the
than
house
on Tuesdays. What are you guys smoking?
I'm actually smoking a High Claire Castle, which I haven't had.
Ooh, the red one.
The red one
or
yes.
the blue one? I love the red one.
I've been on a lighter kick lately. I've been on a light kick. I go
Coop,
through.
are you lit? Yeah,
Yep.
Coop.
I'm smoking the HVC Serie A. Great cigar. Great cigar. It's a good medium one.
Hey, are you?
Great one, man. That's so good.
Are you Maria
That's
Luce?
so good.
That's what I thought you were.
One of my favorites from the PCA show this year.
You said that.
Wrapped in controversy, but
Maybe
enjoying it.
I don't know that
actually
cigar.
our team, the two cigars
Wrapped in
that
broadleaf
Luciano
and
came out with,
controversy. or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
but the two cigars, the other one he came out with, Mas Igneous, is also really good. Our team was really
I
high
had
on
that,
those
yeah.
cigars coming out of the show. Controversy
Yeah.
aside, the cigars were very good.
My question is now: is this going to start being made by somebody else? Do we know?
No,
Does
I don't
anybody
like we like whether Luciano's still gonna make it. The question is, he's doing it at Pichardo or somewhere else is the question.
I don't think he's doing it with Pichardo.
And
might-
I mean,
I might-
when I mean somewhere
I might
else, I
call-
mean his physical location.
I might call and just order 50 or 100 boxes just so I have this current ending.
Well,
Who do you order
the big thing is the last day for
Man, that's a
Crown
good
Heads-
question. Somebody's got them.
On Tuesday, it's going to change who's distributing that stuff because
That's right,
distribution
supposed to be
agreement ends on
November 1st.
Monday night.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, but Luciano will make them. It's just he's going to use the physical Pichardo facility, or he's going to set up another facility. I think that's the question.
Well, the world of
Yeah.
cigars is never boring.
Yeah.
And speaking of the world of cigars, another trend, we talked about the advent calendars. Another trend now, it just seems to be growing and growing, is Zodiac cigars, right?
Mhm.
Now, unless I'm incorrect, Coop, the first people I think did it was Davidoff.
Yeah. So with Davidoff, what they did is, and a lot of people may not notice, is in 2012 they actually floated this idea in the Asian market, and they released a Year of the Dragon cigar. And it wasn't really with fancy packaging or anything. And I guess they tested the waters of it. And the following year, they launched a much more elegant one with the Year of the Snake, which to me was one of the best Davidoffs ever created. And every year they've gone through the different years. Is it the Year of the Horse, the Sheep, the Dog, etc. So yeah, they're the ones I think that really put this concept on the map.
Now they're dropping and ready to drop Year of the Rabbit. We got a picture of this thing? Oh, look
of
at
the
that.
Year of the Rabbit.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not
That's
even-
all of
you're
them
obviously-
that I got.
Yeah, you're not even you pulled a half wheel picture again, Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
But if
Which
you go,
doesn't
okay,
picture.
but there's actually something to show on here. So if
Which
you look at
doesn't
that first
contain the
cigar,
rabbit.
Photo.
see the first cigar with the white band?
Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
that was the first one.
That was that was the one that went to Asia with the white band, and then the red ones were the ones that they kind of done worldwide since then. So they go up to last year with the Tiger.
Photo courtesy of Half Wheel.
Photo
Yes,
courtesy
thank
have.
you, guys.
I don't have a good job by
Photo
them on that.
courtesy
To
of
have every
Half
one of them. That's a good job by them on that.
That Tiger one was wild and it sold out really, really fast. And
I didn't
everybody-
like it though.
Listen,
I didn't
I'm
care
not
for
talking about how it smoked. I think everybody just loved
Yeah,
the
it
concept,
was-
the packaging, the
Yeah.
look.
But
And then
actually, I
now-
got them from you. You guys pulled them from the. You guys sold them out so quick, but you said you had some in the warehouse. I remember you went and got me some that day.
You know,
So,
you know,
Paul, can you pull that back up real quick?
dashed a little
Yeah.
somewhere?
I just want to see something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
So they have
12.
11.
12's the rabbit.
So 12 is the rabbit, and there's only 12. I wonder if they'll revisit.
I think they will
There's only
revisit
12
the
Zodiac
dragon.
signs.
I think they would be crazy if they don't capitalize on Year of the Dragon and do like a much more elegant release with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and now and you know the price of these things just continue to skyrocket.
Oh,
every
God.
year.
These are $50 a
$50
stick now.
This is the yeah. So to give you an idea, the Year of the Snake went for $31 in 2013, which people thought was insane that they were crossing the $30 plateau. Now you go and look. Now you're adding another $20, and this is the most expensive release they've had in the series.
$50. You know, my thing is with this. I mean, look, it's such a monstrous. What how much did last year's go for, Coop?
I want to say 40. The Tiger I
Right.
think went for 40.
I mean, it went up 25% in 1 year. That's just such an astronomical number.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't go backwards.
Yeah, $42 it was last year, so that's
I mean, what are you
$8
gonna
more.
do? These things gonna be like $100 in 5 years? It's just insane.
Well, Davidoff's already got $100 cigar, and they have a $500 cigar. But I think what's happening is, I think this thing that happened with Cohiba, trying to say we're a luxury brand, they're a luxury brand. I think now you're seeing Davidoff say, "Hey, no, we're the luxury brand worldwide," and I think this is what they're trying to do here. I think it's the same thing.
Well, Davidoff's always been a luxury brand worldwide. It's never been in contention.
Right.
I
I
ju-
think they're kind of defending their turf here with it.
You want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
You know, if you want to make more money, it's just a lot easier to raise prices than it is to go out and work harder and get new market share. And let me tell you something, they know that the people buying their cigars at $20, $25, $30, you may get less of the average guy who says, I want to treat myself to a nice cigar. I'll buy myself a $25 cigar. He ain't dropping 50, but their core clientele, most of them aren't going to get phased. They're going to buy the cigar. Most of those guys are smoking for the band. And I don't see anything. I mean, look, if you just look across the whole industry, what's raising? What is going up at the rate Davidoff goes up? Nothing. If someone project, I challenge any blogger or guy out there. Somebody do a plot chart, do a graph, pick 10 different companies and what the prices have been over the last 12 years. I guarantee you, Davidoff is nowhere near anybody.
Yeah.
It's in some stratospherical universe. Based on what? I have no idea.
Yeah.
We just had a price increase, right, Alex?
Yeah.
Davidoff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A significant
we're
one,
looking
I
at this.
heard.
We're looking at this. A box of their cigars has gone up $100.
Wow.
$100.
There's some significant price increases that we've, I think we were talking about Winston Churchill was one that went up the late hour.
Okay, Winston Churchill is a marketing thing. There's a royalty payment involved. There's other factors outside of a normal production cigar, right? But if you just look at the core line, their projects and stuff they do, and you look at their pricing, I guarantee you someone would take the time to do a plot chart and look at it. It doesn't follow anything in this industry.
Well, like it's gross. I mean, a box of Double R is over $1,000 now.
Wow.
25 count box of Double R.
Yeah.
Regular line, white label Davidoff. I think, and you're right, Abe. I think there's people are the guys who are gonna spend it are gonna spend it. But I also think for those other people who are willing to spend the 25, 30, 35 bucks that don't want to spend the 50, this may help brands like Atabay, for instance.
Yeah.
Because look, the Davidoff guys who are going to spend the money are going to spend the money.
Yeah.
But the other guys who want to spend a certain amount of money but don't want to.
Yeah, special occasion. I want to buy something they know is nice. Or I will be phased out.
He's saying he'll be phased out of buying Davidoffs, I guess.
But the Tigers, think about how fast the Tigers went last year at $42. So Davidoff's looking at this. Well, we got demand. People will pay $50 for this. This is a very sought after release. These Chinese.
Like I said, they do have the demand because I think most of their clientele is not going to be phased by it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just ridiculous.
What's the significance of the way the cigars are laid out in the box?
From what I understand, that is meant to represent the rabbit's warren and kind of hopping around from different things. And the warren's kind of the place where the rabbits live, so to speak. So that's what I understand what that was for. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, but that's what that's how they explained it.
Yeah, it looks kind of out there.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird.
Yeah, and if there's on the cigar, there's a pigtail. It's supposed to represent the rabbit's tail. You can see it on it
right there. Yeah.
It's only the second time they've done a perfecto in the Zodiac series. The rooster.
I would have been more impressed if they did a double pigtail.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. But they tried that. Like Eric Espinoza tried that with the taser. It's tricky.
Oh, yes. The taser, yes.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do.
Can I ask you a stupid question?
This like every other one?
No, but this is with a pigtail.
Yeah.
Is the point of the pigtail to not cut it at all? Like, because most of with Saka's pigtails, I can just go boop and then smoke it and not have to cut it. Is that the point of it, or is it just decoration? And are you supposed to still cut it?
I always cut it, right? Because I always worry about tearing the wrapper. Right. I think it's kind of decoration, but it's kind of a convenience when they're finishing the cap on the cigar. They can make this pigtail as opposed to trying to round the cap, which is a little trickier.
Okay.
But I never pull the pigtail. I will unless I don't have a cutter. I will always do a straight cut on that.
Yeah, it's my concern too, Coop. If I pull it, is a little too much of that wrapper going to come off with it?
Yeah. And plus, I like a little more surface area to smoke on.
Me too.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
right off of the tails of Davidoff, I believe was Drew Estate.
you could probably argue it was Drew Estate. They did Year of the Rat in 2016, but they were using Year of the Rat for the Florida Panthers, and it was actually an exclusive that was available at the arena at first before they brought it in there. But their Year of the Rat was meant for the Florida Panthers' Year of the Rat when they went to the Stanley Cup years ago. Was what that, and then they actually morphed it into more of a Chinese New Year release now.
Did I call that lounge a catastrophe from day one?
Not
Yes.
well thought out. They
Listen,
had.
yeah,
Remember they had
you
like
did,
a
Abe.
rolling
I remember
humidor
us having
that
a conversation
came out.
about this.
Listen to me, just so you know, they approached us on 2 different occasions to put a lounge there, right? And there was no formula or no setup that having a lounge at the Panther Stadium made any sense. And then when I heard, I don't know if they ever did it or not, but didn't Alec Bradley even do it? Or they did it first? I can't remember. I think Alec Bradley was even there at one point. I can't remember if it was before or after Drew Estate. Or I could be wrong. Maybe they're just interested, but I think they were there. And it just doesn't make sense. It never makes sense. And the way they structured it made no sense. There's no way, unless you just want to spend the money to have your name there, which probably Drew Estate did. But that's long gone. And then Year of the Rat became, I guess, a regular production. And then they did a Year of the Pig. I think it was just for China.
Yeah, they did Year of the Pig. They did Year of the Ox as well.
Yeah, Year of the Ox too.
Yeah. So I haven't heard if they're doing a Year of the Rooster, Year of the Rabbit yet.
But I wonder why. Why have they not released? Why aren't they making any of these for? I wonder if it's a trademark issue.
I was going to say, is it a trademark? Because even a lot of these, you see, they wind up coming out for the European market. Like Coop, you mentioned, Vega Fina has one too, right? And Placencia.
Vega Fina has one. Placencia had one that started in Europe and one here. I don't know if you could trademark that though. Is where it gets tricky.
Well, then why would Drew Estate make a cigar like Year of the Ox and Year of the Pig and not release it in the States where they started, where they biggest fans in the world are?
Yeah, it could be that. It could be that they at the time were a little worried about FDA. I don't think it was that. It could be they just want to throw something to that market.
They did a Year of the Tiger.
I didn't even know they did a Year of the Tiger.
That's from Coop.
Yep, they did. That wasn't a U.S. release. That wasn't a U.S. release.
I gotta wonder if it's a trademark issue. I can't believe they wouldn't release it because they'd all be sought after.
Right.
Yeah, but they had this rat thing goes back before Davidoff launched the Chinese Zodiac.
Maybe that's why they were allowed to get away with the rat one.
Right.
Maybe
they've already had a rat trademarked, and
I just there's funny things what could be like certain things could be trademarked. Like locations can't be trademarked. I don't know if a Chinese New Year could be trademarked or not. I don't know the answer to that. It could be, Abe. I'm not saying no.
I see no reason why they wouldn't release it here. Were the Placencia years released here? Were there Zodiac?
Yeah, they were
released here.
Vega Fina released one here last year.
And which one did Placencia do? Does anybody have the packaging on?
I'm getting it now. They did Year of the Tiger for sure. I have.
They did Year of the Ox. There's a Year of the Ox. I know we reviewed that.
So it's not a licensing thing. Maybe Drew Estate just doesn't want to look second fiddle to Davidoff. I don't know.
Yeah, Maya Silva did one. They're a European company.
That's the Placencia.
Oh yeah,
they weren't cheap. They weren't cheap. Those was like $40. Those as well. They weren't
Which one? The Placencia?
The Placencia is not cheap.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, Vega Fina did. Like I said, the Vega Fina one went to the U.S. this year. That was the first time Vega Fina sent it to the U.S.
Oh, so Vega Fina did have one sold in the U.S.
Yeah, the Tiger was sold in the U.S. But for a few years, that's been one for Europe only. But Vega Fina is a brand that's bigger in Europe. It's not really a big brand here in the U.S. So, I think they brought it because they were at TPE and they had something to bring there. It was a pretty good cigar, actually.
Do you predict or see this trend continuing? I mean, listen, obviously it can't continue more than the 12 Zodiacs, right? But do you see anybody else maybe getting into this game?
No, I mean, General kind of did something on the ancillary with it, but I don't think they're going to do an annual one with it. No, I think
What did General do?
they did they did like those punch chop suey cigars. Which
But that's not a Zodiac cigar.
No, but they released it at the Chinese New Year time.
Yeah.
So, just in my quick digging, apparently it's you basically can't trademark universal symbols.
Yeah.
Which I guess it almost would
yeah.
be like trademarking a date.
Yeah.
But hold on, is that a universal symbol?
Yeah, I mean, just because it's not a U.S. thing, it'd be like trademarking, July 4th. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I kind of go through. I don't know who else would do one, right? That's significant because
I think the chop suey one counts too, Coop. Because if you look at it, I'm bringing the image up in a second, but it has like
the red and gold
rat on it, and like 2020 written on it with the year of the rat.
They kind of did it that way. But they released it also for the Chinese New Year. Yeah, you see that exactly.
The rat. Oh my God, that had to be a pain in the ass for you guys.
Oh, Abe loved.
Abe
loves that packaging.
You don't remember the warfare there between?
Yeah, maybe I do. Maybe
fine over that.
He beat up poor Justin on it.
Yeah.
Okay, first off, let me just tell you something. At that time when this was released, I didn't know who Justin Andrews was. I didn't know what involvement is, but I didn't care. I don't care if Jesus Christ made that box. That was the stupidest, unretailer-friendly box I've ever seen. My opinion, hands down. I'm a retailer. Can't stack them. Makes no sense. And his response to me was, listen, Justin friends. Actually, Justin Andrews coming to the Great Smoke first time this year.
Justin's a good guy. Justin's a
I
very
like
good guy.
him a lot. He's a great guy.
He is a good guy. But listen, I call it the way I see it, Honest Abe. I mean, it was just an absurd. The first thing I see as a retailer is this is retarded. This is insane.
You can't pile the boxes.
No. And then my favorite was his response was, well, they're going to sell so fast, you shouldn't have to pile them. What are you talking about? If I order 100 boxes, where am I going to put them? I'm going to lie them one layer on the floor across the whole store?
How does the box open? You have to take that yellow wrapper off to open the box? Like, is it all cardboard?
It's like, I don't know, it's like a takeout box, I guess.
Yeah,
I didn't get the
display
box.
Cigars either. It's not like you can open it and display the cigars.
Yeah.
It's
they did one with like a Chinese food carton for egg rolls.
Yeah.
And they did a bento box one year,
Right.
which didn't make sense because it's Chinese.
And then they got away from the food real quick and went with a Fu Manchu.
Yeah, they got away with food. Yeah, and here's what I'll say about Justin. A couple of us have a group chat with him. We pick on him about everything. He takes it on his shorts every time with that. We blame him for everything.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
The bento box is like a regular box at least.
But like I said, I mean, it's got to be. I don't like these type of packaging, not because I'm not against the creativity. You can't see the cigars a lot of times, and you really can't open them like a traditional box to open them up in a humidor. So I just tend to hate a lot of this type of packaging. There's the bento box.
Yeah.
That at least is a little more retailer friendly, though. It didn't make sense.
Hold on. I'm just telling you, those aren't real cigars in that box.
No, they're not.
That's pictures, right?
Yeah,
that's some piece of cardboard.
That's an image. Yeah, that's an image.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, what a terrible job! They totally could have made it look real.
Yeah.
There you go, Abe. You get some.
That's a graphic designer in me. I couldn't help it, but God, that looked terrible.
Yeah.
I may have a real one, but yeah,
I think it's peaked, Abe. But I think there may be a surge next year with Year of the Dragon being that's the big year. I think next year you may see it all out, and then I think it's going to plateau after that.
Next year is not the Year of the Dragon, though.
Yeah, 2024, I'm saying. 2024 is the Year of the Dragon.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, see, it's actually Rabbit is next year. They release it now, but when we see a year from now when they announce Year of the Dragon, I think those are going to be big ones.
Alex, did you realize the Easter egg in this comment?
Oh, yeah. I thought about that earlier.
There's an Easter egg in this. Yeah, Paul don't even know. Big Easter egg there. Just too far ahead. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the Zodiac thing continues. I just find it funny how a lot of them just ain't doing it here in the States too. I don't understand that. I might have to actually ask Because now I want to know. And if I get the skinny, I will come back on KMA Radio and share it. But
Yeah,
I'm
it'd be interesting to
curious.
know.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm really curious as to why it's Drew Estate isn't releasing any of these here in the States.
I mean, could it be that they just don't sell here?
No, they
No,
sell. These
definitely
cigars
not.
sell.
They don't sell.
Hold on. First off, Davidoff has proved that they do
They do.
already. Okay. And secondly is Drew Estates would sell like they were like bricks of gold.
Right.
Okay. I don't know how Placencia has done. I don't know how the Vega Fino one has done. I don't know. But the fact that I didn't even know about them tells me all I need to know.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny that, a couple of years ago, You're the Rat, which was still pretty limited. You only could get it at events, ends up number 4 on the media consensus list last year for a cigar almost anyone couldn't get. So Drew say push that one.
For a cigar that almost no one could get, you mean?
It's a Facebook. It was a true Facebook cigar, as you call it. Yeah.
Yes, I dubbed that term. Thank you for the credit. I appreciate it.
No, I've actually stole. But I give you credit. But I do use that.
No. It's yours to use. Really, thank you.
Yeah. It's because if you think about it, like, how did all these media people review it? It's because they were pushed to the media. Is what happened.
Oh,
and
I'm
a
sure
cigar that is not very vertically available suddenly can end up high on lists because it's in the media's hands, but consumers can't get it. So there's something wrong with that model is what I look at a lot of times.
Are you saying they bought their way to the list?
No, the media gets access to the cigar, is what happens. So, Saka did last year.
Access meaning that they were sent a bunch of cigars.
They were sent the cigars. Right, you were sent the cigars, which is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being sent cigars, right? But when everyone's sent this cigar that nobody can get and it ends up very high on the list, there's something weird, It's just how every media person get it, but no consumers can get it.
I love trying to shake Coop up a little bit.
Are you talking about the Davidoff or the Drew Estate?
Drew Estate, You're the Rat.
Drew Estate. Oh, it can't shake up because I think that you absolutely should be getting samples. So that's an issue I've said. We shouldn't be ashamed of it. Every other product review industry gets it, but the two industries that take it a beating on are cigars and fashion. Fashion people get beat because they get sent free clothes.
So let me ask you a question. Are you telling me that none of the manufacturers send out samples? And if they
about half of them, we get about half our samples on them.
But let me ask something. If they don't, isn't there some kind of FDA regulation about sending out samples? Government regulation?
It doesn't apply because of business to business. Business to business is
samples to consumers. Got it. Okay. Yeah. So the other thing is that do you think some of them just don't want to waste time trying to verify who actually has a business and doesn't have a business and operating like Joe Blow?
Yeah, I don't think people verify that at all.
You don't think they're really
guys out there? Yeah.
So let me ask you, do you think you're not getting samples from cigar companies because they're just not marketing savvy and they just really haven't thought about that as part of what they should be doing? Or have you literally asked, or do you know stories where someone asked for samples and they said, we don't send samples?
I know both. I mean, I think some I don't think need to send samples, right? Certainly, I don't think Davidoff needs to send samples out of You're the Rabbit because it's a small release and it's going to sell out. But, when Davidoff came out with the Escurios and the Nicaraguas, they were sending those out because those were more longer-term projects. So
they're building a brand.
They're building a brand with that, right. So, and I've moved – like the Coop model's changed in the last couple of years. I've moved away from reviewing a lot of small batch stuff. There's not as much as I review anymore of it because I've recognized the sustainability of the core releases. But, some companies will send out core releases, some won't. The problem is that, everyone says, well, media gets sent samples and the scores are higher, right? I disclose that data every year. I give average scores for what's sent to samples, what's not sent to samples, who's a sponsor, not a sponsor. And pretty much they're the same, at least on my site. I know the Developing Palates guys did the same thing, and they're pretty much the same. So
you're trying to see whether you bought them or sent the samples.
Right. I publish the average. Every review has the source of whether it was sent or bought, and then I do the average scores at the end of the year, and they're pretty close. But I don't know. Cigar media feels apologetic all the time. Like we got to apologize for getting a sample. That's part of doing our business. That's part of how we do it.
I think there's some sites or some that I think it's Aficionado. I don't know if anybody else does it, but I think Aficionado refuses to any cigar that's reviewed they actually buy. And
No. I think it was. I think
It's
it was
Half
Half Wheel.
It's
Hold
half
on.
and we
Okay.
haven't made that
So
decision
hold on.
yet.
Just so you know, it is Aficionado too, because they used to call an order from us.
But they are
So,
sent
For
samples
a while
each item.
there, and I'm sure it was unbeknownst to Marvin, but yeah, somebody from Aficionado was ordering cigars from us for the review process. So I think they definitely do go out and buy their cigars, and then Half Wheel does as well.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that mentality? Because you're saying, well, we should get samples, every industry should get samples, and these guys saying, listen, we buy every cigar we review.
Well, I think I've actually been considering doing it with Coop too, because there are issues with if the sample are the samples really representative of what's on the shelf, and I think they had an issue with a couple of companies with that, where they would send samples
they send you the supas when the bloopers made the shelf. Is that what you're saying?
Right. So I think they just said, hey, we're just going to take that out of the equation at this point. And we've been debating that. We haven't made that decision as a team to do that, because we do think it's important. Like at the trade show, for example, we don't review any sample we get at the trade show. We tell companies, hey, we want to taste, smell, touch your product, kind of get a feel for it, but we're not doing the review of it. And some companies will say, we don't want to give you a sample, and that's fine. And others will say, hey, take the sample and do that.
That's fair.
Because we've had so many problems with the trade show cigars. I mean, I saw a couple lists last year where they had the trade show samples make the top 25, and you can see it because they had the pre-release bands on it, the black and white bands. I'm like,
right.
Really, guys, come on. And that's one of your top cigars of the year.
Wow.
So that's something, but at the same time, I don't think there's anything wrong with a company saying, hey, we're going to send you the sample. And a lot of times, for example, I will buy the cigar also because I don't get enough samples. Like there's a couple companies that only send you like one of each size, and I need to at least have 2 or 3. So if it's a cigar that interests me, I'll buy it.
That's another good question. How many cigars do you smoke to do a review of one line?
Well, Coop does 3, right?
3.
Yeah.
Right.
Really?
Do you sample when you do a review, Coop? Is it just of the line itself or of a specific size?
Specific size. Every cigar is Vitola specific, and sometimes we'll review a couple of sizes of that.
So you'll do multiple Vitolas of a line?
Yes, we will. And we consider a line extension a brand new cigar. So if the line's been out for a couple of years, they come out with a new size, that's a brand new cigar for that year. And we do it that way, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've read a bunch of your reviews, Coop. I look at your reviews. I'm not really a review guy. I like, I'd much rather hear from like Alex, because Alex and I think have a similar palate. So he got me to try a cigar the other day that I would have never touched. I would walk right by it. But he's like, no, you got to try it. He brought it over to me, and I absolutely loved it. So, I like to rely on like people that I know will have a similar palate.
You know what the 2 things I get asked most about a review, besides the score, obviously? How much is this cigar, and where can I get it? Those are the 2 most asked questions.
We know the answer to one of them.
Right. Well, the price thing is a whole nightmare because companies don't want to send you media price increases, but because they think we're going to publish it. And I've been arguing with companies, hey, just send me your price book every 6 months, and I can just look at that and reference it if we're doing reviews and stuff like that.
Right.
And because then what happens is your pricing is inaccurate in the review.
Which is funny because then they'll want to reach out to you and tell you your pricing on your review is too low.
Right. Exactly. And I've had that problem. And I've had companies tell me we don't want the media communicating a price increase. I said, it's not just that. It's not really going to get me a lot of hits to say your prices are going up. It's going to get me more credibility if I have accurate pricing. And instead, I have to go searching for it. And
they don't want media to announce a price increase. Half Wheel does it every week.
They literally have a.
You know what the trick is? You go get the retailer emails. That's how they get all that stuff. It's all sent to the retailers. There's a small percentage is only sent to the media. And if you think it's worth doing that, they can go ahead. I didn't find it as an ROI to do that. That's why I don't do it. But I get better information from the retailers than from the companies sometimes on information, because they send different information to the retailers.
Do you smoke a kind of Bruce Stark inspired this question. It's kind of a better version of his question.
Uh-huh.
But do you smoke cigars that you just don't review? You just smoke them, or do you find your way to review any cigar that you smoke?
No, I mean, most of my reviews are focused on a 2-year cycle. So from the time I'm smoking it to 2 years prior. I do, like I said, there are some cigars I go through on a periodic. This HVC Serie A is one I go back to several times. I mean, I just like this cigar.
But you reviewed it.
I reviewed it, but yeah, I go back to it. I like it.
Well, yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, you ever out and about and you just, hey, I've never tried this cigar. I'm going to try it, and smoked it without an intention that I'm going to review it, or
Yes.
it's basically part of the review process involved in every cigar that you smoke.
It's a small percentage that where I'll go there and I'll see a cigar and I'll smoke it. Right? It's a very small percentage these days because of the amount of cigars I review. But I do that from time to, particularly when I'm traveling, is a great example of that. When I did the trip up to Boston, that's what I did. There's just cigars I wanted to try that I hadn't tried before, or cigars I wanted to revisit. I went to one store in Rhode Island and they had some really old, Tatuaje stuff I was able to get my hands on, and just enjoy that. So, but it's few and far these days.
What is
Coop,
this?
do you smoke while you watch the game?
DM you.
I smoke when I watch the game, but I don't review when I watch the game.
Of course not. Of course.
Yeah, that's a big difference. But yeah, I do smoke when I watch the game. Yeah, and I don't light up like a special cigar till it's over. I haven't had a lot of championships these days.
I think
I did not do a celebratory cigar after the NLCS, by the way.
Yeah, wait a minute. Time out, Paul. We don't have to be secretive. It was.
I didn't want to.
If there was ever a more feminine moment, no offense to all the women out there.
You're really hitting it.
It was a
hard
New
to the
World
women
Dorado.
thing.
I told Paul to try.
What the fuck are you doing? I'll tell you privately. I'll DM you. What the?
Yeah.
It was the New World Dorado.
Now here's another thing.
Why are you trying to keep this secret?
I'm not keeping it secret. I just didn't think we were still talking about it, so I was going to let it go, and I'll
talking about what?
I stand by my picks, Paul.
No, you do. I don't think Alex has ever driven me wrong. Alex is the one that told me I wasn't a huge fan of the firecracker. Was it the firecracker? The Micarita?
It was a Micarita firecracker.
The Tricky Chaka. Oh, the first time I smoked it, I really didn't love it, and it's probably the first one of Saka cigars. I was like, it's okay. And Alex is like, you gotta give it a shot. Try it again. And I smoked a few of them now, and I actually really enjoy them now.
Wait, I just don't want this plane flying over too quickly. I just want to understand what happened here. You mentioned something that Alex had me try a cigar, and I liked it. How did this come up in conversation? Did I miss it? What did you say?
Yeah, I said he showed me a cigar that I would have just walked right past. I never would have picked it up. And he's like, you got to try it.
You couldn't say on the air.
No, we had already gone past it, so I wasn't going to talk about it and bring it back.
Yeah.
That's why.
But here's a good example with that Dorado. It's something that just got released in the last month, right? I'm not going to run and do the review of that just yet, but I will smoke that to get a sense of what that cigar is. And then I put some in the humidor because I want my cigars to have a minimum of a month age on it before I smoke them under common conditions. But I'll smoke that ahead of time just to get a feel for what that cigar is all about.
Are there any cigars that you smoke on a regular basis that you haven't or won't review? I think that's what Abe was getting
if they're
at.
older ones, I'll smoke Padron's 1000 series, for example. I'm not going to really go back and review those. Fuente Hemingways, I enjoy those. They're just too old. Or if it's a very limited cigar, at this point, single store stuff, I really don't want to review much of it anymore unless it's a higher profile release, like a micro blend or something. But most of the single store stuff, I'll just smoke it to enjoy it. But it's not worth reviewing it because it has too shorter lifespan, and no one's going to be going back to that review in 6 to 8 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Point well taken.
Yeah.
On that note, before we hit the scoop with Coop, let's talk about this $70 DuPont lighter, man. Do we have a video of this thing?
I can't find it. What is it called?
Hooked. DuPont's T. DuPont Hooked.
It was on Aficionado.
Yeah, Half Wheel did a good review and a video on it too.
I have images.
I did not get that one. Normally I get stuff from DuPont, actually. So I did not get that one from them.
Is it the red one?
It's called Hooked, Paul. There's
a bunch of lighters called Hooked.
They're all the same. It's just different art.
Okay. So is this the cheapest lighter that they sell?
Yes.
Yeah.
And by far.
So yeah, it's a lighter that like DuPont is for
by
folks who
half.
don't know.
Of course, he gets the
high-end-
Kama Sutra one he finds.
That's all I can find. My browsing history tells Google to find that.
Do I have
right
this
away,
one
I
on
guess.
my? I may have gotten this one on my. No, I don't have that. I have the.
So that is the Hooked, the ST DuPont Hooked, which is I understand the retail to be about $70.
So, and again, it's kind of for ST DuPont. I mean, that may be an expensive lighter for a lot of folks, but ST DuPont lighters, it's not unusual to see a lighter $1,000 from them.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of it's kind of one of those things. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? And there's two sides to look at that. On one side of the equation, it's like, hey, it gives someone access to an ST DuPont. That it's a kind of a gateway. You're addressing an audience. And on the other side of the coin is like, well, it's cheapening the brand, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because
does it
this is-
devalue everything else?
Right. So, it would be coming out with like a $10,000 Ferrari or something like that. So that's where this is kind of gets a little controversial sometimes when stuff like this is done, and it has a mixed reaction.
Well, I mean, so a mini jet is about $150.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that again, courtesy of Half Wheel. Thank you.
but that's still not an inexpensive lighter at $150. Most people are not spending $150 on a lighter.
But this is a smaller lighter, single flame.
The
I
mini
don't know. I'm
jet
a
is
small lighter
nothing
guy,
like
so
the
I'm a little
DuPont
biased.
experience, is what I'll tell people.
Okay, listen.
It's a good lighter, but it's not that ping. You don't get that ping, which is what.
Well, you only get
No,
the
but-
ping with the line 2 anyway. Even the line
But
8
that's what they're
doesn't have the
famous.
ping.
But that's what they're famous for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But listen to me. The one thing, listen. First off, I'm a much bigger fan of the slim mini, the slim.
The slim,
Maxi
yep.
Jet.
Slim 7.
Yeah, those are gorgeous. They're nice. I have
Yeah.
one. I think it's great. Just put this picture up. Is it me, or is this like the lighter I see when I go to the gas stations, but by the counter? I mean, is this not an attractive lighter, or is it just me? Like, this is something like I thought I would see in the display boxes, like when you go up to the counter at a gas station, for like $9.95, $12.95.
Well, it's not.
It's not going to melt on you when you do
It's
it.
not plastic, even though
Yeah.
it kind of looks like. Put that orange one back up, Paul.
Hold
So
on.
yeah, it's very small. It's not, but
I'm finding
Yeah, I don't
more.
It just didn't. Yeah. Those gas station ones, you get them and they melt.
I'm not. When I look at this, there's nothing that is attracting me. It is a great lighter,
Yeah, I agree.
Even
I was.
a cool looking lighter.
what's interesting too is, Paul, do you have show the red one again?
The sort of high quality right there, buddy.
There you go. You got the red one, Paul. Yeah. So if you look at it, you would expect it to ignite from a side push just by the look at it and the
Yes,
way, and the
it
way
does
kind of
look like
other-
that.
but it doesn't. You actually have to open it up and then go to the other picture and click down on that side. Not.
Yeah, I thought it was a side push too.
Yeah, I mean, and what you would expect from some of the DuPont torches that
So-
they're all side
so-
pushes.
I'm gonna tell you why, because this looks like it's meant to be like on a keychain or something.
That's what I was going to go with next. Yeah.
Okay.
And-
So they don't want you to accidentally spark it. That's why the cap keeps you from accidentally being able to
Right.
slide down. And it's not
Yeah.
a pusher.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's basically a $70 keychain lighter.
Which is also just odd. I mean, $70 on a keychain. It's anything with a color like that. It's not plastic. On a keychain, on a bag, that shit's going to get all nicked up. The coloring is going to.
Destroyed.
Yeah, I would never buy that to put on a keychain. I like the lighter just because I like small
Not for,
lighters.
I would put a $70 lighter on a keychain because
Right.
it's going to get scratched and stuff in your pocket,
Right.
or on the side, wherever you keep your key.
Right.
All right. Well, on that note, let's see if there's any more important news we could discuss as we're coming up on the close of hour number 2.
I have a live prop actually for the news story today. So
Well, there we go. It's
Yeah.
time. It's the time for the scoop with Coop.
Hey, yo, what's my theme music?
The Scoop with Coop. Breaking industry news. Hear it first on KMA Talk Radio and cigar-coop.com.
All right. What do we have going on this week?
all right, so like one of the stories was the Year of the Rabbit. I'll just kind of give the details real quick if you're interested in what that cigar is. It's going to be a 5 and 5/16 by 54 Perfecto with an Ecuadorian hybrid wrapper, Mexican binder, and Dominican fillers. So, and I think we talked about the price point already. It's going to be $50 a cigar, $500 a box, and you should start seeing that hit the stores in like before Thanksgiving. Usually they come out with that. So, and you can see it has that interesting box, which I guess it again represents a rabbit's warren, and that's where the rabbits breed. And I guess they hop around, and that's what those things are. It's kind of a very I never saw cigars really arranged like this before. It's kind of weird.
It looks very willy-nilly.
It does. It does. It's a humidor nightmare for me. Obviously, I get that box and I have to pull them out. I just can't put something like that in the humidor. You know,
I just don't understand why not. Why are we going so asymmetrical? Like, why couldn't we put 2 on the left and 2 on the right?
I don't know. It's driving me nuts looking at it. You're absolutely right.
Yep. But but I know we talked a lot about Year of the Rabbit, but that was one of the stories. The other story I have, like I said, was a light week of news. Casada Cigars actually announced the return of, and I'm going to hold it up here, the Holiday Keg. And this is the Holiday Keg. If you can see that. Let's see. This is a release that they came out with about 6 years ago. And they've done these they were doing keg cigars for St. Patrick's Day. Idea of having an Irish stout and you get cigars in there. This is empty. But they decided to do one for the end of the year holiday season in 2016. They brought it back this year. So it's kind of some really, I keep this around. I thought it was really cool packaging they did. They changed the blend up a little from the last time. They were using a Dominican wrapper last time. Now they're using a Ecuadorian wrapper. But a nice thing to have. I wouldn't, it's nice. I kind of, this is one of these cool packaging I like to keep around up in the office there. And it's that should also be hitting the stores pretty soon. But it's only the second time they brought this back. Pricing is a little higher than it was last time. It's about $12 a cigar, and I'm looking at my price point. It was $8 back then, so this went up quite a bit. But yeah, you can start seeing that hit the stores pretty soon. And it's a limited release of 500 cigars, 500 kegs. So if you like having these around, definitely get it. I wouldn't recommend using this as a humidor though. Take them out when they come, and then just keep your keg.
I remember when those were out. I feel like
they were popular. I mean, they were
them,
popular. This I think these were Terrence Riley projects going back when he did the St. Patrick's Day keg. Right. They're fun projects. The cigars are really good. So the idea is, I guess you should enjoy it with a holiday spirit or whatever. So not that I would have eggnog with it by any means, but no, it's pretty good. So they'll start shipping in November.
To me, just talk about a brand that like died.
They have, but they what's coming out of that factory has been really good in the last couple of years.
I don't know. I don't think they ever made bad cigars. I just think
I think actually even they done the Ferio Tego they did was, I just reviewed that the last week. It's probably gonna make my top 25.
I don't think they ever made bad cigars. I just think they just haven't figured out how to put them out there as a company anymore. I mean, since Terrence Riley left, there's no talk. There's really any face of the company, and it's just, and everybody these days is so aggressive and so out there and figured out social media. Manny's won class seats, but I don't know if they have anybody bringing them to the forefront of the future.
They like I said, I think the products, like, for a while they had really slowed down on product innovation for a couple of years, and the last couple of years I think they've started to launch it. I am seeing Casada return to a lot more shelves in the last year. I have seen that.
Manny's trying to work his magic. He's reached out to us, and but listen to me. If I give him an order, it's great. You got one order out of me, but then when it's on the shelf 8 months later, what are we going to do? Until you internally really fix what's going on out there as marketing and promoting your company, it's getting out of the shelves now is one thing. Let's see what's still on the shelves 18 months from now.
Right.
That's the big question. So Manny's been in the industry, God knows, forever. He's got a lot of relationship and friends. So, he picks up the phone, he calls you, you're likely to take an order, but you want to see it still there. And listen, you guys got to remember too, man, one of the first things he did was brand the Casada cigar brand when he came over there, Terrence. I mean, for everyone I was in the industry, that company was called SAG.
Yep. SAG.
Talking about having no connection to a consumer base. SAG Cigar. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Abe, I go back to the early days of the show, and I've listened to it, and I agree with you on this. The job he did 10 years ago, really making Casada just really cool and just innovation and excitement around the brand.
That's why I call him the Great White Gringo.
Yeah, I mean, and
And
he's doing it at Aganorsa now.
We've seen him doing it at Aganorsa. So
Yeah, he really does a great job with that. But I think this keg thing was his baby originally. I think this was his marketing idea, I want to say.
Do you have anything going on else this week, Mr. Cooper?
No, that's really it. It's been a very slow week in news.
So a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, it's cold. Usually this time of year it's pretty slow. I think things really pick up right in the next couple weeks before Thanksgiving. There's a lot of companies that are going to try to get stuff out for the holidays, so I think you're going to see a lot more activity. And then you get into end of year, and then you get into national sales meetings. So it will pick up again. This is typically a slow news cycle, late October, early November.
So there you have it. Please keep up to date. Check out our friends' page regularly, cigar-coop.com. Always teaser and rumor free.
Thank you.
Yes. So shall we do our special edition Taylor Tape first, or should we announce?
Oh, yeah. What do you want to do first?
Okay.
Let's announce. Let's announce first.
Do we have any imagery or anything, or are we just?
I don't have any imagery.
I'll let you break the news, Alex.
All right. So Taylor the Tape.
Originally is really you and Coop's segment.
Yeah. Well, we brought everybody in.
I like everyone's in it. I think it's fun.
Absolutely.
I think it's really been fun. Yeah.
Alex hates it.
What?
He hates hearing my opinion on anything.
Oh no, your opinion.
Well, I already know what I'm already trying to decide what your number one's going to be on this.
Love your opinions. So we are on season 6 of Tale of the Tape, and for this season, we are going to be tackling the greatest female heartthrobs of all time. So yeah, we're all pretty excited. I don't think we have any ground rules. Are we keeping this to like film actresses? Are we keeping it wide open?
I think anybody famous.
Anyone famous was a celebrity. I'd say celebrity status.
I mean, we know Paul's will be all Disney.
So yeah, I'm trying to figure if he's going to be Cinderella or Snow White on his. I mean.
Listen, all I know is if you go the Disney route again and Jessica Rabbit isn't number one, you go.
That's fair.
Paul should go to Disney route.
Movie? Yeah, Touchstone in Disney. But you know what? I have my first 6 picked, and I have my last one picked, but I can't get 7, 8, and 9.
I have one is really easy for me.
I'm telling you, if Jessica Rabbit might make my list.
That's valid.
That's how validated Jessica
Who is
Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit? But Jessica Rabbit, it's kind of like going to.
I don't give a shit. She's the hardest cartoon ever.
Yes.
Not just in looks and the way she acted and everything. I was
man.
I was a kid when that came out. I was turned on by Jessica Rabbit.
That was
cartoon one.
Do you not know who we're talking about, Paul?
I know Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah,
I know that one.
You do that a lot. You call him Paul.
I'm not used to having Coop on the show yet, so that name coming out.
When you look, I'm no better sometimes. So.
Hold on, I'm trying to get a picture of Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit
to upload.
Smoke.
All right, so we're going. It's so wide open. Female celebrity.
Yeah, it could be I mean, I'm not gonna pick like Cleopatra or something like that. Yeah.
Should we be fair and have Paul at least do maybe male heartthrob? Look at that, bro. Look at that. I almost feel I should be paying $49.95
if that's that number one, yeah.
She's something else, man.
I was thinking, should we let Paul handle like at least being supportive of all our female listeners out there and do a male heartthrob?
No, I'm not doing the male heartthrob. How would I know what to pick?
You know, Paul, you're on Broadway.
Oh,
you know,
I'd be number one.
Don't make me put up our text thread.
You could put what do you call it? You could pick Van Johnson.
You really should put up that text thread now. You really should.
No, don't put the thread up. Don't
No,
put the thread up.
no,
It'll be
it's-
interesting. It'll be interesting. The generational gaps.
I
See
know,
how
Coop-
far
Coop-
back some of us go.
Is Coop gonna have like Molly Ringwald and think that that's a new?
Molly Ringwald was never a
Molly
heartthrob.
Ringwald's actually better looking now than she was 30 years ago.
Yeah, I never.
Yeah,
I
she
never
was never a
got that.
heartthrob in any universe.
She wasn't a heartthrob. She was like the girl next door look.
Guys were obsessed with her. I
There is-
get it.
There is
Kids had-
one that
boys
is
had
far
crushes
and beyond everyone. That's
That
going
was-
to
she
make
was
the
never
my
a
number
heartthrob.
one.
I'm trying to think. Winnie Cooper. Winnie Cooper's an
Winnie
example. She
Cooper.
Danica. What's
But
her
she got
real
hotter
name?
when she was older,
She
right?
is. That girl is unbelievably hot now. She's gorgeous now.
Yeah, like see, there's like there's crushes and there's heartthrobs. Like
Okay, so differentiate.
Alicia, I don't know, but like Alicia Silverstone, that'd be crush.
Yeah.
She's
So
crush
are-
material.
Are
Not
you guys
hot
going
problem.
like personal preference, or are we just going on?
Personal preference. That's what all.
I
of
think
this
there's
is.
a, I think it's a combination of both.
Dan LeBeau, she is definitely a contender on my list, Dan. I always loved Kelly LeBrock. How she married Steven Seagal, I have no idea. Talk about a score there. But yeah, I was always
Mayim Bialik. Kevin coming up with the awkward ones.
yeah. Topanga is
Topanga.
yeah, she's crush material, nowhere near heartthrob material in my book.
So there's a difference. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely, there's a difference. There's one that you think you got a crush on, she's cute. And there's the ones that you'd hang on your poster as a teenager above your bed.
Yeah.
What
There's
about
a difference.
Marianne? You pick Marianne over Ginger, Kevin?
Ginger.
Definitely.
Ginger
hotter
all the
than
way.
Marianne.
But
Yeah.
Marianne's not bad. Marianne's good.
I
I
think-
was always
I
in Team Ginger.
Me
We
too.
had this discussion. I think Coop and I are both gingers, but I think
Yeah.
Marianne is more popular across the
Really?
Marianne's the more wholesome one.
Yes.
She was a cigar smoker, from what I heard.
I tell you another. I tell you another. This is where it's really gonna get
Oh,
dated. Like I mentioned this the other day, and nobody knew who it was. But going with Dan LeBeau, he might know Aaron Gray.
no clue.
When
who that is.
she was in the 80s. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's what we're talking about, not today.
Yeah, I agree.
When she was doing
agree
Buck
on that.
Rogers and Silver Spoons, wow, I was in love with her.
Silver Spoons, yeah.
Does the chick with 3 tits and Total Recall count?
Yeah, why not? That's more of a fetish, but yeah.
You know, it's funny. I she's literally in the credits as 3-breasted hooker.
That's hilarious, is it?
Yeah.
That's actually funny. That's funny. So yeah, this should be a very controversial.
Oh, I
And,
think this is going to create a lot of audience.
I can't wait to
inter-
see Coops. Coops is gonna be so. It's gonna be all old people.
I will guarantee you my number one will not disappoint, is what I'm going to say.
Sidney Crawford. Like it's gonna be something from back in the day. I know.
Cindy Crawford's a heartthrob. Yeah, that's
Cindy
heartthrob.
Crawford was.
I don't know. I'm
yeah.
just going with top 10 hot chicks.
Listen,
I
I
don't know
can tell you
how many
something. Linda Carter still looks good.
Does she?
Yeah,
Linda Carter was amazing. As
Listen,
Still
you're gonna
looks
call
good.
me crazy. You know who's looking good these days? It's nuts. Martha Stewart. She's out here. Listen, Martha Stewart is 80 years old.
I would go
Putting
Liz
out
Truss over Martha
Thirst
Stewart.
trap photos.
I wasn't expecting those words to come out. You know who I just saw in a clip, and I was like, "Holy shit, what the fuck happened?" And I had a crush on her. What's her name? The original Catwoman.
Eartha
From-
Kitt?
Julie Newmar.
No, the one from the Michael Keaton Batman movie.
Oh,
Oh,
Michelle
Michelle
Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh,
I don't know what happened to her. Can you Google a recent picture? Like I saw her in some movie clip or something, some trailer,
Yeah.
and I went, "Holy cow!"
Oh,
she
she does
was
not
in,
look.
she was in Grease too.
Yes.
The lead, and she was,
on,
which
I'll
I
find
don't
it.
think it's a bad movie actually. Grease too.
No, I had a huge heartthrob from Michelle Pfeiffer
But my number one is
for Angelina too, man.
Oh,
I just
Angelina
watched-
Jolie.
I just watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith again. God damn, she's fine.
great movie. Great movie too.
All right,
Yeah,
listen,
I was
just
so
to back
behind.
my
This is gonna be
insane-
as I'm reading the list. This is gonna be harder than I expected, man.
I think we're gonna have a lot of diversity on this list. More
I was a
so
Selma
than
Hayek fan too.
I just want to back up my listen. Martha Stewart is 80 years old, putting
Can you
out
put a
pictures
picture?
in nothing but an
Oh.
apron. And she's 80 years old. She's 80
Alex
years old.
Alex, that is a very
Hey,
like something is touched up or blurred or.
Hey,
that's
Alex, do you
not the
remember-
picture that I'm
do you-
finding of her?
Do you remember Cecily Tynan,
Yeah.
the weather girl
Yeah.
in Philadelphia?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not gonna put her on the list, but she was back in like 15 years ago. Wow.
That's Michelle.
That's actually not that bad. Then whatever
Yeah.
trailer I was watching, man, they had her look awful. They
I
aged
can't
her.
believe that Alex said Martha.
That
Stewart.
can't be real. That's not Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart, man.
Look at
That's
would you
that's
think that-
photoshopped.
What
Isn't it?
universe is Alex like? Yo, man, Martha Stewart's.
I saw an article. Martha
I-
Stewart is
that-
out there thirst trapping, man.
Quentin
That's
Thor
better than
is
Liz Truss. That picture, I'll admit that.
Let's
Quentin
trust
Thor
with the games.
the standard.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to end. We will start it next week, and we'll let the balls roll and see how they go. Yeah, Gal Gadot. I'm in love with Gal Gadot too. It's going to be really hard, man. Are we going to make this open era? Because it's going to make it a lot harder.
Well, yeah, it has to be
do you
for
mean?
it has to be for Coop. He's not going to know anybody now.
Oh, fuck you,
I
Paul.
I
Yeah,
think
it's got to be open era.
It's got to be open era. Yeah, it's got to be open.
It's going to be so
no,
hard.
everyone will know my list. My list will not say who's that. I don't
I'm
think it'll get even.
contemplating not going
You know,
going with all Disney people now.
I got to tell you something, Dan. Me and you got some similar heartthrobs. I'm going to tell you. Dan. I'm telling you. Anyways, it's coming to that time, unfortunately, everyone. We've entertained you, and we hope you had fun for the last couple hours, but we need to end KMA episode in the way we usually do. And it's time for our segment called Would You Rather, brought to you by Gert.
Would you rather?
Of
Oh, you're a
Gert
fucking mess.
Cigars.
You know what? It's sometimes delayed, so I try to hit it a half a second before he says it, so that there won't be a gap. And that time I just overshot.
I told you, bro, the Q's owes the finger.
No, but then I'm telling you, sometimes you'll click it and it takes like a second, and then everybody's like, "Come on, Paul!" So I try to do it a little bit like
Don't try. Just do.
proactively, but it doesn't.
Or it's
There is no try.
Yes, there is no try. Just do, please. All right, here we go. I have 3 questions for each of you, and I'm going to start this week in reverse order and go with Alex.
All right, let's do it.
Alex, would you rather have your favorite Turkish spa open and remained open forever, or the Phillies win the World Series?
Ooh.
Phillies win the World Series.
Wow, that fast. No struggle?
No
You've
struggle.
been devastated since they've closed down.
Yeah, but it's kind of like when they stop making your favorite cigar. Eventually, you just get over it and move on.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it's been so long at this point.
Yeah, I guess the thing.
I'll tell you what. To make matters worse, they just evacuated and condemned another building down in Miami. Didn't fall, but they got everyone out of there. So I don't know if the bathhouse is opening anytime soon.
Wow. All right. Well, I thought that'd be a little.
Yeah, I mean, it is. No, that's a tough one. But I mean, you know, it's been so long.
I know. It should have been closer. It should have only been like after about 4 months of them being closed down. You probably would have been jonesing real bad. All right, Koopa. Who would you rather have, if possible, as a very special guest on your show? Winston Churchill or John F. Kennedy?
Ooh.
John F. Kennedy.
Wow, really? I mean, not even a hesitation.
Yeah, I mean, I think Winston Churchill, a lot of him has been documented, but John F. Kennedy, I think there's still a lot of mystery around him.
Oh, so you think he just tell you the scoop, like right on open air, like?
Well, I think we can probably pry a little more with that. I think we could probably, my audience can learn a little more from John F. Kennedy. I think the Winston Churchill story is really well documented to this point.
That's fair.
Yeah, you know, I'd really be curious about, you know, when the embargo happened and everything. So yeah, I would definitely go John Kennedy on this one.
All right, respectable.
Yeah.
And last but, well, actually least,
Hi,
Paul Hot Mess DeGracco. Here we go. You ready, Paul?
Hello, you said my name right, like everybody on Long Island. Pool.
Paul, you ready?
Cool.
Yeah.
Would you rather appear in a full Broadway production for a year, or be Mickey Mouse at Disney for a year, but no one can know you're Mickey?
See, this you don't know me well enough, because doing a Broadway production is not all it's cracked up to be. It's nice to do like a couple of them.
Oh, but being in a hot mouse suit in Disney World is, I mean, what the fuck's the matter with you, Paul?
Being in the
hang
hot
out with
mouse
Mickey
suit
Minnie
sucks.
Mouse.
I would go with the Broadway show, but it's still
producer's
not going to be fun.
perspective.
It's not going to be fun. But yeah, I
You
would
get to
do the
chase
Broadway
Minnie Mouse
show.
around.
Hold on,
I have no desire to ever dress up as a costume character like that ever.
but not
Like,
even Mickey Mouse.
Mickey
No
Mouse.
way.
You'd
Well,
be,
what if you could
you'd
be
be
the
running the
prince?
show.
no desire.
What if you could be the prince?
Oh, be a face. They call that face characters.
Yeah,
Look
see,
at me.
now we're talking.
Look at me.
Look
That
at
would never
me.
happen.
Look at
But
me.
say they offered you a face character role. Which would you rather do?
Who? The face character role? Who? Rick Moranis? I'm gonna who am I gonna play? No, I would do the Broadway show.
Say they made you Aladdin. You could be Aladdin or a Broadway show.
Then I gotta lose weight. to have
Rick
my grip.
Moranis.
Oh, I can't breathe in this thing. No, I would do the Broadway show. It's just so much work. I don't think.
Oh,
now listen,
the
I've never done a
show?
Broadway show, but having to sing and I'm not a good dancer. It's so much work. Oh my god! And 6 or 8 shows a week. After a week, you're like, fuck.
I can't tell. He's complaining about
That's
the
what I'm saying.
Broadway
Mickey
show.
Mouse
but
would be
that's what he
easier.
wants. I can't tell which way is he going.
No, I'll do the Broadway show.
Oh wow.
I would never. I don't want to be a character.
I'd do Mickey.
Oh, so being on a Broadway show is not a character?
It's not the same. It's performing. Like
The most iconic character out there, you could be Mickey.
Oh, so you just basically said the guy who's Mickey Mouse to all those millions of kids every year that he's not performing out there?
Yeah, sure he is, but
I
it's
can
not
imagine
the
you
same
gotta be
for
the
me.
top
I have no
guy
desire
be
to do
Mickey
that.
Mouse under that suit. I mean, you
It's a
gotta be Disney's top person.
It's a personal preference. Have you ever met any of these guys that dress up in these costumes? Because I have.
I don't picture they'd be like you.
There are people you would never let your child go near if you saw them in real life. They are the most awkward of the awkward, weird ass people.
I think Adam would be one.
100%. He's in that.
I would agree. I would agree.
Oh my God! Well, that was the end of this week's episode of KMA Talk Radio. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Saturday morning. Best way to start your Saturdays. Do not forget, please visit cigar-coop.com. Great Smoke tickets go on sale next week, Friday, November 4th. If you're a member of our Socialite page, if you're not, go to facebook.com, look up Smoking Socialite, Smoking Social. We're going to drop a link for some people, for our fans, to get in a day early, November 3rd. Next week, we actually have a manufacturer. We're going to have Mickey Peg. Oh, yes.
Oh, I love him. I can't wait.
We have Mickey Peg of All Stink Cigars is going to be our on the show, so we will have a Meet Your Maker segment next week. Until then, follow us on Facebook and keep it lit.